Hello, hello, welcome everybody. It is Thursday night, and this is the NLG show. We are live. People can hear me. I see all kinds of things. I see Darth Vader has shown up. What? There he is. Oh, he appeared.
What?
He appeared out of nowhere. He just,
Yeah.
he's testing out the backgrounds. What's going on, everyone? What's going on, my brothers? And we have a great show for you tonight with an absolutely great guest who is here to help us find out more about a game that he has been working on for how long now?
2 years.
2 years.
Pretty much to the year, yeah, to the day almost.
So, I was excited when we were able to bring him aboard because I had been wanting to talk to this man for some time, and as usual, I fall down on the job when it comes to our guests. So it is an honor and pleasure to introduce to our NLG family and our NLG chat room the man behind Song of Iron, coming out August 31st on Xbox and Steam. He is. I said this, and I made this joke. I'm sure you get this all the time. Winter is coming. Mr. Joe Winter from Resting Relic Studio. How are you, sir?
Hey, thanks for having me. I really appreciate you having me on and everything. It's awesome. I'm doing really good. Things are a little crazy, so I go from really excited to super stressed out and freaked out over the course of a couple seconds every once in a while, but I'm hanging in there.
All right, well, tonight it is a breathe deep, grab a beer. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna talk about Song of Iron. We're gonna get into some indie goodness. We've got a lot of great people in the chat who are very big fans of yours. Indie Gamer is in the chat.
Yeah,
and
Indie Gamer, never heard of that guy.
Yeah. And we are going to have some fun tonight. So, we obviously want to hear all about you, all about Song of Iron, but at the same time, as we do with all of the guests that we have on, want you to be relaxed, want you to take just kind of take your mind off of the stress and have some fun tonight. That's what we're here for. So we really appreciate you coming on, and thank you for doing it this close to launch. I know, I was sending you messages here and there. Hey, Joe, I'm gonna send you a text. I'm gonna send you an email. I'll get you on, and then I would just lose all track of time. And so the fact that you're able to come on and talk to us with less than a month to go for the game to launch really is, I really appreciate it on behalf of Peter and Chris. We really appreciate you coming on and talking with us tonight. So thank you for coming.
Yeah, no problem. My pleasure.
So, Chris, Peter, how you guys doing?
Good. I mean, not as stressed as Joe is, but we're all pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what helps that stress is when Microsoft Flight Simulator works.
Yes.
Oh.
When we figured out how to make it work. That's
yes, we figured
Doesn't
out
work for
how
everybody, but
it does. Well, it didn't work for me for days, so I have to give Peter a ton of credit for helping me to solve my I can't change the time, date, or weather in my game. So, and he said Joe takes it in stride.
It's a little hard when you play at night and you want to play, fly on the East Coast and it's always dark. It's like, oh, come on.
Well, when you want to, right? I can't find my house. I can't. That's like a big thing with Flight Simulator. Joe, have you tried it yet?
I played it when it released on PC, like right away, and flew all over Iceland and stuff, and that was pretty great. But it looks like it's gotten way better, so I do look forward to getting it on my kit and playing on the big screen as soon as I'm done with this. My list of games is astronomical right now of things I want to play and have had to wait on.
Oh, your backlog's got to be absolutely destroyed.
But I loved it when I played it on PC, and I love simulators and stuff like that. I love to play the real world stuff sometimes, and so I can't wait.
So I assume because you are putting a game out and such that you do have an Xbox Series X. Were you able to snag one?
Yeah, I have a dev kit which can be turned into a
yes.
Series.
No,
But
I know
I
that
don't have a retail one. Yeah.
that's okay. That's all right.
Yeah, it
Those
works.
yeah, yes it does. The I don't know if you see it. There's a black Xbox 360 behind me. You can't see it because I'm
Oh,
blocked.
nice.
My big ass is blocking. That's my from my old NLG days. That is my that's my debug 360 from when I was doing press.
Love it.
So
Yeah,
I know what
I
you're
think-
talking about.
Yeah, I got a little bit extra power too. I think not that it matters, but
Oh, I
they all,
don't think Microsoft.
they all come with special superpowers
Right.
that the
Well,
retails don't have. But,
Well, and that's an interesting. That's something I do want to ask you tonight when we get to it. Is how you can make a game and then scale it down. So, no, we'll get there. We'll get there.
sure.
So
I heard of.
he's playing AK 120, right? Everything.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I mean, I can, but you won't like it.
Right.
Right. The guy will be this small, as you know.
It'll be pixelated.
So I heard a crack. Who cracked open? Was that a second one? Was that you, Joe?
Not me. Still
Oh,
working.
okay. All right.
But
all
it's
right.
not beer. It's Coke from rum and Coke.
Well,
All right.
no, it's okay. It's all right. What beer is that, Joe? What does Joe Winter drink?
This is a Red Hook ESB.
Ah, is
I
that
heard
is that
Let's see what is it actually? It is a I don't know beer. It's one that I've attached to, and my wife buys them, so I don't even.
There you go.
I've stopped paying attention to it.
if it tastes good, that's okay. Is it regional?
Love it.
You know?
Yeah, I think it is. And if I can't, mostly it's because I can't get Mac and Jack in the can easy. It's out here though, but that's another regional one I love. Mac and Jack is amazing. It's like an African amber.
Oh wow.
Yeah, good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff out here.
Yeah. We got. I've got friends out on. There's an island out there. That I have friends at. Talks about the beer out there, a lot. So real quick, want to just give a great shout out. Our chat room is already hopping. A lot of people here to check out the information on Song of Iron. Brian F is in the chat, back from the dead. Brother Indy, of course, Brother Infinite from another Gamers United Guild show, Retro Renegades. We have De Niro has joined us early tonight. He is on at the start. Excellent. Panda Sub 2000. Guys, if you have not seen, I've tweeted it out earlier. It was said last night, I think. If you have not seen Panda Sub's new Amico video, oh my lord, you need to check that thing out. That guy has got editing skills like I have never seen before. One of the coolest looking videos ever. And Panda Sub, thanks again for the shout out, brother. Really means a lot to us. We've got who else we got in the chat? Spooky Sprocket, who did, Joe, say he is excited for this game. He has it pre-ordered and ready to go. So
Love it.
I'm telling you. Niall is in the chat. We got the Song of Iron guys in the chat. We got
dead?
I don't know. He snuck in. Dreadpool brother Dread is in the chat. Bacon Ice Cream Productions. Rich Haywood, who is also interested in this game. He said he would be here tonight because he wanted to check this out and hear from you as well. Lady Foxfire, our sister Lady Foxfire, is here. So we got a great chat room already up. Yep. The MAGG. It is the MAGG. He has arrived. See, things are looking up. Did I miss anybody? Peter?
And Niall is in the house.
I did
Graphic
say Niall.
God.
Oh, did I miss Daddy J?
Jay, yeah.
I
just
didn't
came
see
in.
him. Oh, he just came in. Okay, that's why.
Yeah.
Daddy J's in the house. All right.
And Fastback from the OG-NLG podcast.
Oh yeah,
I'm
that
here.
guy.
I'm here.
He's here. He's actually here on time too. We love you,
Oh,
brother.
roll call.
Roll call. Right. All right. So, Joe, I asked this of all of our guests.
Sure.
So we want to get into kind of your gaming acumen and life as a developer and Song of Iron and stuff like that. But it's always good to get the origin story, right? How we got from little Joe the game guy, little Joe playing whatever games he was playing. I'm using the Atari joystick to tell you how old I am. All the way up to how did you get started in game development? So take us through your gaming history. Where'd you get started?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I know that joystick well. I think my first kit was an Atari 2600 or whatever, the classic, the common one was. I remember playing Pitfall and that tank game where you could go from one side to the other. And
Combat.
I mean, there's a bunch. Yeah, right. When games could be named that.
Yes, right.
Yeah, I mean, I remember those really fondly. So I mean, I go all the way back, I guess. Well, almost all the way back.
All right. All right.
I think the first ones I start to really identify with is like Mega Man X. I remember really being a standout for me. I was finally like old enough to really like consume it properly and get through it and beat it and feel, understand the whole path of a game. And that game inspires me still. There's little bits of that in Song of Iron, weirdly enough, just how they do some systems. And then, I think I played a ton of stuff. I mean, that was just the beginning. And then I became a Nintendo 64 kid for a while. And, Zelda became the monster game. And I played every version of that I could. And, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are easily in the top 5 of my lifetime games. And I doubt they're going anywhere soon. And so I was never good, to jump forward a little bit, I was never a great high school student. I'm a bit stupid on the learning side of things, but that kind of led me to art, which I think it's pretty common that it can. And I was lucky enough to have a school that had someone come in from an art college nearby, and I was like, oh, I can make video games? That sounds great. And and they were like, yeah, come and check it out. And it was basically just the one college I looked at is the college I went to, and that was this little art institute in the suburbs of Chicago. And I really clung on to animation there. I had a few friends that we got real competitive with it, and we're like, just kind of, it was good competition, but we just sort of wanted to be the best. And so we kind of did way more than school asked us to do. And that led us to teaching ourselves way more than the school did. And then from there, so I got lucky. I got a job right out of that at the studio called Play Mechanics. They made Big Buck Hunter, which is an arcade you've probably seen in a bar or a movie theater or something. Yeah. Terminator Salvation I worked on also, which is another arcade cabinet that you'll see.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Stop. You worked on Terminator Salvation?
Yeah.
Dude, my
just a little bit. Yeah.
My 16-year-old and I rule that cabinet. Oh my goodness, that is awesome.
Yeah, I worked on a few of the like narrative cinematics in it, and I kind of left before it was anywhere near done, but so I touched that. I mean, I remember. I mean, the guy who would make the cabinets and make all the hardware and design it was in house, so we'd all go and try to break it because 1,000 people were going to touch a thing in its lifetime, and so he would always be trying to make it stronger and better, and we'd go in and throw it around. And yeah, that was a pretty cool. That was a cool spot because it's so different than everything else. But also not very many people, so very hard to make good stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm gonna go see the next time, and this is how pathetic I am as a dad. I know where it is at Chuck E. Cheese. So next time we go, and we beat that thing, I'm gonna look for your name.
Yeah, hopefully it's in there. You'll have to look for Garhan. It's a different last name, but gotcha. Yeah, I think I should be in that. I should be in that. And then from there, I went. I got the call to California, and I went and I started at Cryptic Studios, and I was there for 7, almost 8 years. I worked on the very end of Champions Online. Then I moved over to Neverwinter, and I worked there for the whole production cycle of Neverwinter Online. And then I worked on a project that never released that was going to be actually kind of cool, but they couldn't quite figure it out, so it didn't quite work out. And that was really fun. That was a great place to learn. I learned how to be really fast there, because I mean, MMO content, right? People just eat it up. They just fly through it, and yes, you just got to make it real fast. And that taught me to be a really quick animator. And then when I started getting ready to look, I had some friends that were at 343. When I was getting ready to look for a new job, and I just sent them my demo reel to get some feedback. And I think maybe a week later, I was taking the test, and 2 weeks after that, I was up in Seattle working on Halo 5.
What?
I worked at 343 like 2 years of Halo 5, and then until just the most recent December, and I left for Song of Iron full time.
Wow. Okay.
So it's about 15 years animating, a little, just not quite, but almost there.
I would call that story career, is what I would say.
Yeah.
No. And the MAGG says you are solely responsible for his alcoholism because of Big Buck Hunter. So
love it.
That's incredible. So now, because you'll make me go back and play some of these games so I can find you. So
but those jobs were all pure animation.
Yeah, those are all animation jobs. 343. I mean, I was still animator through 343. For Infinite, I was the lead animator for the character team, which was anything that wasn't a Spartan, pretty much. Any enemy that wasn't a Spartan, we worked on. So none of my work was in the flight that was just last weekend, but as soon as you start fighting elites and everybody else, then you'll start seeing my stuff.
Did you work on
my
Greg?
goodness.
Did you work on Greg? Or Craig?
I mean, of course, yeah. Greg, yeah, good old Greg. Craig is love hate him, but everything's fine now.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys. Well, when you were at 343, you guys took that in stride. You guys really did. You took that in stride, and not a lot of companies would do that.
You have to.
So.
I mean, not everybody understands how the systems work, so they get mad. But we literally didn't have the faces yet, and that's like a layer that goes on separate from everything else. So it was just inevitable, and it was a wonderful screenshot taken. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we want Craig stuffies,
I know, exactly, right? We need the cameo. The cameo's got to be there. It would be a major failure.
I can't not say we may not have used that here on our show a couple of times.
It's all good.
Oh, this is amazing. See, this is why we ask these. That's why I ask this of everybody that comes on, because you come to find out that people really have some incredible backgrounds. I mean, you're responsible for, like I said, a part, pieces of a game that helped me bond with my 16-year-old son. I mean, that's
crazy.
It's amazing how gaming does that and how small the world really is. So, so thank you for taking us through kind of that history. So, so then, Resting Relic Studio, which is what you call the studio that you're developing Song of Iron for. How did that come about?
Yeah, so I mean, I think a lot of people who are in the industry kind of dream of the day where you start your own studio or whatever, and always dream about it, but it's so much easier to just work at a place. At some point, I think I kind of needed a new game to play, and I decided to just sort of mess around and make one. I think I was getting really upset at how PUBG was moving, and DayZ, if you guys are familiar with that game, how no one was able to create again what the mod had, because I loved it so much. And I started just trying to figure out how to build stuff in Unreal, and I was messing around, and I was having so much fun making basically this big open world shooter that I knew I would never be able to actually finish, that I decided to try something that could maybe be done. And so I gave myself a bunch of really strict sort of like rules, like hallways, walls to stay inside of, or whatever, however that phrase normally is said. And I just gave myself a lot of limitations, and so that I could actually make something that maybe could be finished in a reasonable amount of time. And it was on the side and just sort of for fun on the weekends and stuff. And I started showing it in some subreddits, and I started the Twitter account eventually. And one of the Reddit posts kind of went crazy, so I kind of started thinking, well, maybe this there's something here. Like, people are looking at really early stuff and they're really liking it, so that kind of made me really determined to finish it. And then it eventually got big enough, and I decided to leave a good job in the middle of a pandemic to try this indie thing out and see how it went. And so far so good, but we're gonna find out in about a month, I guess, if that was a good idea or not.
Well, so this was a side project then for you.
Yeah,
start.
totally. Yeah, just a little thing for fun, just messing around. I love learning stuff, and I love making things, and
Wow.
so
You did the animation part as far as all the games that you worked on, right? And you use Unity and Unreal and.
No, I had never used any Unreal or Unity in any of the jobs I've been at. It was always been their own engines.
Okay.
Yeah, their own proprietary stuff. And so, I've seen like a really big collection of ways to do stuff. And I had messed with Unreal, like in the Unreal 3 days, pre, super user friendliness of Unreal 4, but it was getting there. It was really close.
Yeah.
And I couldn't quite, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to do it at that point. And, but cracked into Unreal 4 at that, 2 years ago. It was in amazing shape. Blueprints, which is the visual kind of coding language that they use.
Yeah.
Without that, it wouldn't be possible, because I'm an animator artist side of things. I don't have a code brain, so I could never have done it. Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter, she tried that. She thought she was going to get into engine, and she was going to get into animation, but they required her to learn the programming side of it, and she's just going to pick it up. So
yeah, it's tough. You don't
easy.
Normally need that.
No, and the school where she went, they required her to. She had to go through that one class and pass it. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes
so
sense.
I know it's not easy.
Yeah,
but I guess you doing this on the side, right? Over time, you kept going.
Yeah, there's so many people that use Unreal that there's, YouTube is full of really sort of simple, basic tutorials and information, and that stuff works for a little while. Then you definitely have to go beyond what they're showing. They're showing the easiest, most direct line to things, and that usually means terribly inefficient and, yada yada, doesn't scale at all or anything. But it's a very gradual walk into the water, and then it just sort of slowly became bigger and bigger, and eventually I decided to go all in on it. Xbox found me at one point, and so that kind of solidified everything.
But it was cool because I've watched you over time, and plus you've been on Indie Show, and you've interacted with a lot of us in the community, and you're showing steps, right? You come along, and showed us, hey, I got this going now, and what do you think about this? So it's been fun watching you progress, and
that's awesome.
And congratulations, now we got a
thanks.
Release date, and we're all excited to give this a go here at the end of the month. So yeah,
thank you. No, it's exciting times for sure. I hope it lives up to expectations for sure.
Well, you hit on a form of game that I prefer, so you have an advantage with me already. I'm a platformer kind of guy, so this sort of hits that it's got kind of partial looks of games like Limbo and things like that, but then at the same time it harkens back to older games that I used to play, like, and in some ways like Barbarian, which was one of those Rastan where you're running through with a sword, and you're just those old arcade games too. How so where you're a guy working on these giant 3D games, Halo 5, big 3D open world. What got you to this style of game, to where it's 2D side scrolling,
Sure.
or in this case 2.5D, right? Is that kind of the
Yeah, 2.5D. It's all vagaries, I think, at some point, but it's effectively a side scroller. It's hard. I mean, it's hard to describe. I mean, the world's 3D. I don't know. You fight on a plane on a single line. But like you can see now in what you're showing, there's guys in the foreground, and before there was guys in the background, and they'll come to you and fight you if they see you and stuff. And
right?
I don't know. I just part of it was that I wanted to. One of those things about like really restraining and putting myself in a box to make it achievable, and side scroller, in a lot of ways limits it. It lets animation be simpler because it's you're only seeing it from two sides, stuff like that. So that was sort of one way. I had just been playing Inside, and funny you say Limbo, same studio.
Yep.
Super inspired by that game, and really kind of at some point was just like, what would this be like if it was a Viking instead of a kid? I don't know. Let's try that out. I mean, that seems cool. I really liked other games, and they're not quite the same. Journey and Shadow of the Colossus. While very different games, it seems like they did such a good job building these massive worlds and like barely saying anything about it. They just let you be in them and let you kind of explore in some cases, or just showed you little bits of it. And just those sort of three games together really inspired me to make something that was really simple, but that didn't mean that it wasn't going to be really immersive or powerful or good. So I've tried to kind of funnel all of that through into a game, and we have Song of Iron now. Hopefully that works.
No, yeah, I mean it's no, and you're right. You see a 3D kind of, but you're fighting in a single plane, and it's not necessarily one directional. As you can see here, you have people attacking you from both sides. You've got to turn and fight. The gameplay mechanics. Talk about where you came up with how deep to make those mechanics, because looking at this, for example, there's a lot here. There's a lot there. I mean, you're shooting bow and arrow. You're flinging axe. You're drop kicking people. I mean,
it's the best.
Yeah,
I've always been, like I was mentioning it with Flight Sim. I've always really liked games that were grounded in reality in some ways, and followed rules really well and all that kind of stuff. And when I started, I just wanted to make a fighter that felt like more realistic and sort of combos and wild acrobatic stuff. And so I just started with really simple 2 swings, and I let you kick to keep people off you, let you kind of wind one up. I mean, really simple, really basic kind of stuff. But what I then did was sort of kept adding through context and not necessarily adding too much depth to anything. The example being the kick, which was just basically the Spartan kick for a while just to keep people back. But if you were jumping, what happens? I'll do some air version of the kick. So if you jump and kick, you do the drop kick. If you jump and swing your axe, you do this aerial attack. I mean, it seems really simple, but layering a bunch of that stuff together turned into a pretty interesting fight. And I like to describe it as the Viking John Wick a lot of times. Fights are really quick and they're dangerous, but they're over really fast. And you fire one bow off, you throw your axe, you run, you kick a guy, pick your axe back up and finish him off, and you're done. But messing that up will have dire consequences because people will start hitting you and it won't be great. But when you pull those things off, it feels really good. And so I also kind of liken it to sort of like a Western brawl in a saloon or something, where it's like, break the chair over someone's head. The chair's gone now, so grab a bottle, throw it across the room, and then tackle someone out of the window. I mean, like those sort of those are more grounded, more kind of, obviously it's still Hollywood in a way, but it just feels like this is what I expect to be able to do, and you can do it in a lot of the cases. And it turns out that I think it worked out pretty well.
Well, and
Yeah.
go ahead, Chris.
No, I was gonna say no. From everything we've seen, it looks like it's worked out. So.
Well, and so here's one of those things that you were talking about: use stealth or not, and then here they come out of the background to attack, and now you've got to fight them, and they're coming at you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like a kung fu
you can
movie
see
where
them
it's
way
like,
in the background there. Yeah.
yeah, and here come more, and
Yeah.
they're trying to wipe
that
you
looks
out.
Great. Yeah.
So and
Yeah.
the climbing
Oh, man, this
stealth.
is
I
old.
mean, well, but yeah, I told you I grabbed.
No, it's great. I
everything
love
could.
it. It's fun. It's fun to see how it's come. It's crazy.
And it's smooth. I mean, it's just the flow. The flow is really nice, which is something that is hard to it's hard to nail, especially when you've got that kind of stuff coming at you. And you know, we saw in this video, you know, it's stealth, but it's also climbing up the side of a small mountainous area. It's using your environment. I mean, there's more to this than just hack and slash.
Yeah, totally. And I think following in the footsteps of those games I was mentioning, you know, it's also not a very long game. It's very, very intentional, both to be able to finish it. Also, there's so many games out there. You know, I know people have backlogs. I have a monster backlog, and you know, hopefully you can grab this and play it in a bit of a longish session and be done with that. And I think that's really nice. But it lets me try stuff out in an area, you know, one time and then move on, and then you kind of experience this little thing, and then you don't have to do it 1,000 times across, you know, a 1,000-hour game or something. So,
All right,
it's just sort of yeah.
So what's your target time for this? You said you could kind of finish it in one long session.
Yeah, I think a pretty competent playthrough can come in at around 2 hours. I think based on how the demos have gone and stuff, probably averagely 3 or so hours, give or take 20 minutes for your average person. I do have some there's sort of a new game plus. You can keep going with all the stuff you've got and go through again. And based on how the story goes, I think a lot of people will want to try and run through it again to see if you know, if they can kind of detect some of the stuff going on and all that. But yeah, it's definitely on the shorter end. But hopefully it's short and sweet and not, you know, I don't stay too long or overstay my welcome or anything.
Well, that's just, you know, it just helps you get your next game started. Song of Iron 2.
Exactly. Exactly. That's
'Cause
exactly it. Yeah.
Right, because that, you know, because that's what you need to be thinking about right now, you know, right?
Yeah.
So Rich Bacon Ice Cream Productions got into both beta rounds on Discord. So you only got to check out a few minutes each time because he kept starting on the last day of the tests. But he also said he can't wait to dig in to release. So
That's awesome. I would love to hear it.
so Indy says feels good to run it fast too for a second time, as the run animation and combat is awesome, done quickly. The animation is, you know, so you that's obviously your strength, is animation. So how easy was it to get that really running in Unreal?
I mean, from the Unreal side, it was super easy. The hardest part was that I had to also build the characters and then build a rig for myself to use to animate with. And that I'm not as good as just the animation side of things. But realistically, it was pretty easy. In a lot of ways, because I could do it efficiently and quickly, it sort of was always sort of the second most important thing. So, you know, I look at a lot of the animation in it and I feel like it's at like 50%. I would love to have, you know, all the time in the world to go and like really go at it animation wise. And I think that's part of that next game vibes, but with hopefully some more time, maybe another person or two. But that was the easier part for sure. The coding and all that stuff was definitely the harder bit.
And that's all you. There's no you are a one-man studio here, right?
Yeah, I have a composer who came on to write the soundtrack, and I got some help with sound design as well in the end. You definitely didn't want to hear my music, and it got to a point where it was big enough that it felt like it to stand out, it needed a real good soundtrack and a really Viking centric soundtrack. And so, and he had sent me, his name is Will Ghost. He had sent me a sample of like, hey, I want to work on your game. Here's what I was thinking. And that's basically the main theme of the game now. And it's sort of trickled into every song in there. I mean, I liked that little kind of shot in the dark so much. So, but that's pretty much it. I mean, other than that, it's, I built the characters, designed it, built the levels, animated, did everything else. So
all the gameplay, all the
gameplay, yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Oh wow, that's impressive. So
yeah, it looks really awesome. That's can't wait to get my hands on it and go through it.
And there's damage as far as on the weapons and the shield.
Yeah, shield takes damage. Your swords and axes and stuff will be fine just swinging them, but you can lose them because you'll throw them and they'll get deflected away or something like that, and you won't be able to reach them. You can block with the two-handed axe, and that will break if you block too much with it. But it's a pretty forgiving system, and one of the big things about it is that there aren't any like super special weapons. The main difference is this is a two-handed axe, or this is the axe and shield combo kind of thing. All of the special stuff comes from the armor you're getting, and like the flaming sword, the lightning arrows, all that stuff is all based on your armor. So once you get that, you can light anything on fire. Any arrow is a lightning arrow. So it kind of lets you, to go with the barroom brawl thing. I never wanted you to like feel like you had to hold back with the fire axe because you didn't want to lose it. It's just like, just throw that thing, pick up another one and throw that one too. And just keep going, spend all of your resources. Like if people are trying to like, style on enemies the whole time, that will make me so happy, because that's really what I want you to like, be John Wick as much as you can when you play. Don't worry about the consequences.
The length of the game, like you said, people can go back and play it differently,
Yeah, totally.
So I can get that.
You'll get stronger and stronger.
Yeah, and these games are really, like we're talking about Limbo and Inside. These games right here have been kind of trending the style and a game that doesn't take too long. It gives everybody a break from the big open world. Like I've been playing Valhalla, but I'm just excited to play this as a Viking in this, and just a nice break. And just because the game is short doesn't mean it won't have a big impact on, because Inside and Limbo. Recently, like Journey, you brought up Journey, and that I love that game. It's one of my favorite. And then recently, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but Omno.
Omno,
Omno,
I guess it was short. People played through it.
It's short, and I'm almost done with that, and it's had a big impact on me.
Yeah,
so
that's
far,
awesome.
So.
Yeah, I think it's a shame if people overly put like time as value in game. But hopefully, if I make even a small impact, I'll be very happy. Those games have made such an impact on me, and so I'm happy to try to follow just a little bit.
And this, does it have a little bit of story, any mythology?
Yeah, there's definitely story. There's definitely some mythology. It's a thing that's been it's been the hardest thing for me to talk about, because I'm terribly afraid to give something away or to say too much, and it's like a bad thing. I mean, like, there's definitely a story. People who have played the demos and stuff, they saw a chunk of it, and I kind of gave you, and it was in the most recent trailer. I think the one that is on the screen right now. You see you're holding a loved one who's clearly sort of on her last breath or whatever, and she's basically giving you both your mission and your reason to go on the mission at the same time, and that happens right at the beginning. And hopefully that motivates you to kind of go through the game. And then it's all, because it's shorter, it's all just like this thing that's leading to the end, and everything kind of is adding to it. There's a little bit of dialogue done through text, and then most of the storytelling is done in the environments. Like we were just seeing, you were walking by this statue, like what's going on, and you get little hints of the world and the greater world. And the more people pay attention to the environment, the more they're gonna start to see stuff going on, and hopefully then they'll really get to experience the full thing. But I am very excited about people finally, like, there's this whole part of this game I haven't talked about because I'm waiting for people to see it fresh.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And I'm dying to see the reaction. I cannot wait. I've held it. It's been the hardest secret I've ever kept in my life. And I'm so excited. And people will love and hate it, I'm sure. But
don't let Indy talk you into revealing it then.
yeah. Never.
So, it's funny because I remember probably one of the most influential games of its time, and that game could be beaten in a half hour if you really knew what you were doing. And I believe that game went on to define side-scrolling adventures. Little game by Jordan Mechner, called Prince of Persia. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Absolutely. I've talked about that being one of the inspirations for the game too. Just a really clean, amazing animation.
Yep.
And yeah.
That's why I brought it up, because I know that you've mentioned that before. And when you talk about that, at that time, that rotoscoped animation was just far beyond anything. Jordan Mechner was a genius. I mean, even his 8-bit games like, Karateka and that kind of thing led to that. And once Prince of Persia came out, that a lot of companies tried to do that. That's where Another World and then Flashback came from. It's where, and it by itself spawned a series. So, but the other thing I'm trying to get at with Prince of Persia is you can 100% beat that in a single setting. If you know what you're taking the time to, hold on a second. Oh, there we go. Sometimes OBS decides to crap out on me. It did not this time. If you aren't taking the time to walk every step and find every flask, you can knock that game out in 30 minutes. I mean, that's
totally.
So if Song of Iron is 3 hours, I think it's okay. I'm fine with that. I'm a busy dad of 3. I don't have time for a 100-hour fetch quest game anymore.
Yeah,
and also
I'm coming for you. That's exactly what is one of the main things. I think there's something to be said about consuming a whole story in one go. Also, beyond whatever limitations you might have on time and whatever, which this helps with. But, sitting down and getting completely lost and making it to the end, I think has a value that with games we've lost a little bit, because we're so used to loving these monster worlds that you play for, week on end and put 300 hours into. And yeah, I think Indy's saying in the chat, it's quality over quantity. And at least I'm hoping that was sort of one of the goals. But yeah, hopefully people dig it.
I try to say that at work all the time, but no.
Right.
I work quality in aviation. So production always tries to say quantity.
Go faster. Do it good.
But yeah, like me, like you said, I'm part of that target. I get up early, even on the weekends, and before the family gets up, get my coffee, and I'll come sit down and play a game.
That's
so
awesome.
Maybe if I get this done before they wake up,
Yeah, and I think I'll be interested to see if people ever try to like speed run it or anything. I definitely tried to leave some space for some really fast ways through some things if people are flying, but
yeah,
I don't know if they can actually make all of them. We'll see. I mean, people obviously always figure stuff out. But there's some avenues there, so it'd be fun.
Peter, you were starting. Yeah,
with the Game Plus, at least now you have some time to do the Game Plus, because quite often it's like, if it's like a long game, it's like, I'm not going to do the Game Plus. It's like,
just another 30 hours. Yeah, right.
Yeah, or more than that. It's
Or
like,
more.
oh man, I don't have time for that. Because then you will
Yeah.
have the next big game that's coming around. So
Yeah, it'll be fun. If you guys are familiar with Shadow of the Colossus, how you could play through and your stamina would get bigger and bigger and bigger and basically take up like a quarter of the screen eventually. I kind of have that. Like if you keep going through the game, that little health bar you see on screen now, which is, I don't know, a tenth of the screen, you can get it all the way across the screen if you play enough times in a row.
Nice.
It's little goofy things, for the 10 people that'll do that, but it does help you get a few places, which will be fun. See if people find them.
Nice. The shortcuts and all kinds of fun.
Yeah, all fun stuff.
So, I also, so you said earlier that Xbox found you. So did ID at Xbox kind of reach out to you? Were you pitching it all to them, or did they just come to you and say, "Hey, we see this game you're making and we like it"?
Yeah, they totally found me. That the Reddit post I had mentioned, it was like in February of 2020, I think, and it did really well. I mean, the front page Reddit and stuff. And I think maybe a day later, I got a message from one of the ID at Xbox people, and they were just interested in the game and wanted to hear more about it. And yeah, it just sort of went from there. And it was one of the craziest things. You don't expect that ever generally. And of course, I'm like working there at the time on Halo, but it's still like a very
did they know
not
that?
the same. It's very different. No. I eventually, because we did it to make sure everything was sort of above the board, if you will.
Sure.
There's some processes within Microsoft as a whole of like making sure there's no shady business going on. So we went through that and eventually had to tell them when I told my managers knew that I was working on it and stuff. So it's like, as long as while I was working there, I didn't say, "Hey, I'm making this and I work at 343 and a few other little things," and everything was cool. Yeah, it's always really good.
That's great that they let you. That they let you do that. I've seen some things recently online. Yeah, there's been some things online recently about people not having that same success.
Yeah, or you work on a game on the site, and it becomes your
their game, right?
Prime and Furious game. It's like, oh, wait a second.
Yeah. Microsoft's really good with all that stuff. They very much encourage moonlighting, I think they call it, and totally protect you for your own good and stuff. Nice. So yeah, it's really good.
All right. So when they approached you, or when you got into, so the one question that I have to ask, because I'm a big believer in their subscription service. Did they talk to you about Game Pass?
Yeah, I mean, of course we talk about it, and the hope is to have as many. They clearly want as much great stuff on there as they can, and it's still an authored service, so I can't just say I want to be on it and then I'll be on it. I still have to get the green light from them, basically. But we talk about it. I'm still hopeful that it'll work out. At this point, it's definitely not going to be day of, but
no, sure.
I definitely still am like all for being on the service, and hopefully it does well enough, and they'll be calling me again.
Yeah,
nice. Well, the good thing about, one of the good things that come from being being a Game Pass subscriber is, because of the games that are in Game Pass, I can then turn my monetary attention towards games like Song of Iron, because I'm not having to buy other games because of the service. So now I can support you and buy the game, which is my complete intention. So, and if it comes to Game Pass later on, well, good. Other people will get a chance to see what it is that we hopefully see in it. So, but
yeah, I would love to.
That's good to know. And maybe they watch this episode and they go, okay, Joe really wants in, so let's do it.
Yeah, a tweet recently, somebody asked me about it, and And then everyone started adding, you know, Phil Spencer and everybody on the Game Pass team and stuff.
Nice.
It was pretty funny.
Get him in here.
Yeah, yeah, it was really funny.
I think a game like this could really flourish there. You know, it's a game that, you know, we always say there are some games that people need to get their hands on and try, and then they can tell other people about it. And this is definitely one of those games where, you know, you want to get this in everybody's hands.
Yeah, totally. And you know, I think in some ways it'll be a blessing in disguise to not be day one. You know, if it ends up happening, I think, you know, as much as game stuff I've done, this is still my first, you know, game I'll ever publish by myself, and it's going to be rough around the edges. It's inevitable, and you know, getting it out and having some additional time, I definitely intend to support it for a while. Just keep working on it. I'm sure people are going to find bugs I've never imagined possible, and I'll definitely try to fix those and do all that kind of stuff. But you know, and then if Game Pass comes, it'll be that much better when it hits that and all that kind of stuff. So I'm fine. I'm fine waiting. Yeah, it's all good.
All right, but Phil, you've heard it. You've heard it here. No, it's all good. I love it. It is neat how, like, you're sitting there waiting for that guy to pass by, and then boom. Now you can let him just walk on by and then stealth by him and never have to engage him, right? Is that part of
correct. Yeah, that guy he'll go on, and then he'll eventually come back because he's on a troll, you know. But you don't have to kill that guy though.
But of course you do, because
most of the time we do. Yeah.
You know.
There's a Chivo for like
they just burned your village. They just burned your village.
Right. So you know you gotta. So
yeah.
So from a technical standpoint, have you kind of achieved what you were looking for from this, from you know, the I'm assuming this is, you know, 4K 60 kind of thing.
Yeah. I was just actually working on that before we started. You know, the Series X works like, you know, the thing runs like beauty for the game. It's crushing a 4K 60, no problem. That system's amazing. And then the rest of them, I'm just pushing I'm trying to find that line. You know, I'm going as far as I can go to maintain performance and maintain visuals. And it's always a bit of a balancing act. I got through a bunch of stuff in the last couple of weeks that have like really brought up the sort of base Xbox One visuals and the base Xbox S and stuff, and or Xbox One S and all that. And that's been helping out a lot. And it's the thing that I'm always working on, especially right now. It's just to keep getting a few extra frames, a few more pixels of texture quality, and all that kind of stuff. But generally, I feel pretty good about it. Definitely, the new systems work amazing, and the One X works amazing. I mean, that thing's a powerhouse too. And I always feel like there's room for improvement for just about anything, but feeling pretty good.
All right. And so you said earlier that you got yourself a kit to develop this with and stuff like that, and you're talking about scaling it down, and you know, obviously this has to run down on other, not just GPUs on the PC side, has to run on other Xbox One platforms. So how hard is it to scale down a game like this? What do you have to do? So what do you have to do to go from, say, this down to the base Xbox One?
Yeah, I mean, so resolution is sort of the fastest and biggest one. You know, 4K at 60 versus 720 at 30, for example, is a massive GPU savings. I mean, you're talking, what is that, like 1/16 the power required or something like that? Not even, or plus 30 frames. Yeah. It's less than that. So it's a significantly less. It has significant less requirements for it from that side of things. Basically, the games run on two major things. It's like all the code runs on one side and then all the visuals run on the other thing. And you got to keep those things balanced as much as you can, so you don't throttle yourself anywhere. And the code generally runs really efficiently. I think even on the lower kits, it's running at something like 60 frames or faster, if everything could keep up with that. And then the render side is what slows down on the smaller kits. But you lower resolution of textures, you reduce particles. Some lights don't cast shadows that cast shadows on the other systems. There's like little tricks like that you kind of go through, and there's some really good things that you can you're actually rendering at a slightly lower resolution, and then it does a great job of like rescaling back up. So you're actually only rendering, maybe 70% of the thing, and then you go up. And then there's some dynamic resolution scaling that Unreal does really well. So if you're getting into a really tough spot, it'll actually dynamically lower the resolution of the render so it can keep up, and then it'll rescale that back up to full resolution. And for the most part, you don't even notice it when you're playing. It just sort of maintains its frame rate, and it goes 10,000 little tricks like that, and you get your frame rate.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have to, and there's the 1x that goes between it, which also something. So
yeah, the 1x is awesome. I mean, as far as the like managing all that, it's really simple. The Unreal just sees which kit it's running, if it's an Xbox, and then I just send it. You go on these settings, you go on these settings, you go on these settings, and let it do its thing.
And that's something that we often wonder. When people talk about having to scale a game, and obviously every engine is different, but we've never had anybody who could really tell us, okay, so if I want this game to run on this, I have it run this, I have it run that. I mean, are there other cutbacks that you have to do, or is it basically is resolution and frame rate really just the way to scale this down? I mean,
yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm not really taking advantage of any like special features like ray tracing, for example, on the newer consoles. So I don't have to like have that lighting system turn off and then turn a whole new lighting system on for the lower consoles or anything like that. I could definitely get more complicated, and like you can have materials that are are really awesome metal textures just look gray on lower systems because they don't have any reflection. Like you can really go down granularly, but I've been able to generally maintain kind of what I want to be at without doing all that really heavy lifting stuff. And but that's generally, I mean, that's going to get you 90% of the way there. And an Xbox One base is a pretty old computer, so most PC side players shouldn't have any trouble unless they've got a real old laptop or something, but for the most part should be totally fine.
Nice. And that's, see, I think that's what, again, that is something that we don't hear a lot of on the technical end, and it helps to put things not only into perspective, but it also helps with expectations. I mean, sounds like this thing's going to run great on no matter what you have.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I think we'll probably you'll probably get some hiccups here and there. And, I think you saw there's some like really cool trees that are like blowing in the wind. Those are definitely expensive, but they look so cool. You might drop a few frames in there, but I was like, these look cool. Like we're keeping them, even if it's running at 26 frames for a little bit. On the lower stuff, Series X doesn't care. It just blasts through all that stuff. Nice. But yeah, so I've kind of made some, like, I want to keep this thing, I didn't want the base X to just have these really stiff trees in this place where it's really windy and stuff. So there's a few sacrifices you end up making, but I think because it's such a closed story and it's all, moving in a direction, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
And if that ends up not being true, then I'll have to work some more on it and cut some more stuff a little bit. But That's always the battle, especially at the end.
Nice.
So like a lot of games, with Xbox, they're also playable on mobile. So is this be playable on mobile, or at some point it might be? Or?
I think it should.
Uh-huh.
I may be misunderstanding, but I believe that basically anything in the ecosystem can go through I forget what they call it now, the streaming to, like, basically, like, you should be able to stream it off your kit to your phone or whatever. That should work fine.
That's interesting.
I don't think it won't be touch supported. So, but you'll have to have one of the controller things on it. Yeah. I definitely intend to bring it to Windows PC also. Okay. That's like my number 2 spot, like once this is all through. And I think that opens up some more stuff. I'm not totally clear on all of it, but yeah, it should be streamable from it. I think that's all part of the ecosystem, as far as I understand. Hopefully that's true, and I'm not totally lying to you. But
no, but I think that's great. I mean, because everybody, they're in different situations. Like you said, some people can't have the PC or the Series. Some people can only play it on the One X, but to be able to do it on the mobile, that's even great too. On the go or so on. Yeah,
it won't straight up run on the phone, but if there's a few streaming, from or thing to your phone stuff. For the demo in December, I partnered with NVIDIA for their streaming thing too, so people were able to, from their hardware to people's phones, were able to play too, which seems crazy to me, but if it works, I'm happy.
Yeah. No, this is, and it's really cool if you could get it into xCloud, because I have a Razer Kishi.
xCloud, thank you.
The Razer Kishi.
I have that, and that's and there's a number of different controllers out there that are pretty much, like an Xbox controller, including being able to use the Xbox controller.
Totally.
So, So you tweeted out earlier today that you got that you are a mega grant recipient from Epic. What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm so excited about that. So Epic, as if basically giving an amazing engine away for almost free wasn't enough. They have a mega grant program for anybody using the Unreal Engine. Doesn't matter if it's for games or movies or architecture, whatever it might be, where they just want to support people using their platform. And so you can apply and pitch them a thing you're making or want to make or are almost done making, and give them a reason to fund you a little bit, and they'll pretty much just give you some free money, as long as it's used in, with or for the project that you pitch in. So it's sort of like an award. I kind of like won a mega grant, I guess. It's a pretty cool badge of honor. I went through a really big review process for it and that, but also I got some financial help through it, which will, give me a wonderful extra little bit of cushion since I was running out of all that stuff, and should get me through the next couple months as the game comes out, and then I have to wait to see how it does, and hopefully that pays out. But and then pay the composer and try to all that kind of stuff. So
he didn't take Taco Bell gift cards.
Awesome. Yeah, right.
Well,
buy some food.
You're right? What pizza? You pay in pizza.
Totally counts.
Absolutely. Has Epic talked to you about bringing this to their store?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to, and I've talked to them a little bit about it. Honestly, the only reason it's not there and on GOG and on Microsoft PC and stuff is just because I'm one person, and I'm already feel like I'm drowning with Steam and Xbox, and I can't wait to get them to those platforms, but they're just gonna have to wait a little bit. Otherwise, I mean, I would do it day of if I could, but it's a lot of stuff to handle.
I'm sure it is. I think the priority for you right now is to get this sucker out the door, right?
Right now, oh man, I just submitted the build that will hopefully be the review copy, and then nice. I've got like another week and a half, and then that'll be the day one copy, just about. So that's how crazy close that we are,
Wow.
Yeah.
You ready for this
it feels wild, but
Still feeling good about a release date, or do you wish you had another month?
I think it's always tough. So much gets done in the last couple days. You know, you start getting able, being able to look further and further back, and so you start making like little big adjustments that help the game a lot, kind of be more cohesive. And so, yeah, a few more weeks would be amazing in a lot of ways, but I'm finally at the stage where I'm like really getting burnt out, and I really need to like take a week off and to not think about it anymore.
Yeah.
And if I were to work on it for too much longer, I might start doing more bad than good for a little bit. So it's a mixed thing. It's like, 3 more months could do a ton of good, of course. But I have to get this thing out and finish the process that I started so long ago. But
do you have friends and family helping testing?
Yeah, I ran a bit of a beta test through people on my Discord. They were super helpful. They played a bunch of the game a little bit more than what the demo had done, and that helped me with so much stuff. Even if they hadn't played it, it helped me understand how to look for bugs that they were finding. So much of the system, like the player just works across the whole game. So I fixed tons of his stuff. I'm endlessly working on making the controls better because that's always been the biggest complaint. And I think I've got something that's working pretty well now. Definitely much better than it had been. And some of my friends who are in the game, in games have played, and that's always it's a different perspective than your average player, because they're kind of they're all my animation friends, so they're looking at my animations and giving me a hard time. But we're all like, we're storytellers, so they're looking for how that's all playing out, and I get good feedback from that. And then also, because I don't want to bug them constantly forever, I try to spread out who's getting the brunt of Joe's I want to talk about this thing I'm doing for the week or whatever. But yeah.
Well, we'll blame the indie gamer if anything's missed. If he missed.
He was on the beta test. I think he was. Sorry.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
I tell you what, he was quiet because he didn't. Because I've been on his show a few times. We're good friends, and he didn't tell me anything until I.
Yeah, he's
good. He's quiet about things. So.
He's a stand-up guy.
He really is.
Been holding the secrets good.
And great reviews. I'm sure he'll do a great review on this when it comes.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna look forward to streaming this myself, because like I said, I streamed Inside all the way through. So if you've got an ending like that, you'll win.
All right. I'll look forward to watching then.
All right, because I remember distinctly.
I can confirm you don't turn into a multi-legged blob, but
okay. And then just die at the foot of the river at the end of the.
I know. I was like, what in the world just happened?
Dude, I just remember that because you were watching that stream, Chris, and I just kind of looked at the screen for like a minute and went, "What just happened?"
Yeah.
And I was like, and then the credits come. I'm just sitting there and moving. I'm like, I can't move. So what's going on here? And then the credits start, and I'm like, what?
Love it.
But there's also the other ending too, and it's like, I never did go back to do that. So I'm not, maybe one day, but.
No.
But I never heard anybody talk about that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
keep it.
All right, so he's keeping a secret. It's okay. Good.
Got it.
Good.
Yeah, got it.
No, you have to.
It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it.
Yeah.
See, you got me hyped up here. Good stuff. So, so Joe, I know we've kept you a little longer than you said. You gave us an hour. We took an hour and 15. I do appreciate it. Is there anything else that you want to depart knowledge to us before we?
I would just say thanks for having me. I mean, I think it's an honor to be on shows like yours and others like Indies and stuff. It's a position that I never thought I would be in, and the support I get and the activity on my Twitter and like the amount of people who just like want the game to do well and want me to do well for it. It's a very bizarre thing, and I can't express how thankful I am for all of the opportunities, big and small. And I just want to make things that are fun for people, and Song of Iron is the first one, and I'm really excited for more. And yeah, it means a lot, basically. And yeah, I don't know, more, not so much knowledge, more thanks, but yeah.
Well,
we wish you the best, and definitely appreciate your, open and honest interaction with all of us, throughout this progress on this game. So we can't wait. So
absolutely,
yeah.
I love to do it. So
you got my attention, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So
thank you very much.
So
I
by
always
the
like
way,
to, know about the person who made the game, know a little bit more. So it's like, when you play the game, it's like, oh yeah, we talked about it, and he shared all that stuff. And it's like, it's like a nice little bond down there. So really looking forward to.
I've always loved watching behind the scenes stuff, and I love getting all that extra information. I've watched the behind the scenes of the Lord of the Rings as much as I've watched the movies, and I just love that stuff. And so I think it's fun to try to share my side, because I know people like watching things be made, and so I'm just trying to share some of that as I go.
And it's neat. Those videos that we were showing, are ones that I watched prior to downloading them and grabbing them, and I mean it's cool to see progress, and it was kind of funny to, in a way it was kind of heartwarming to see your reaction to your own stuff from earlier, and how it's progressed into that final release date trailer. So to kind of see you kind of light up a little bit, seeing your work progress. And that's got to be something. That's got to be something that you're gonna take a lot of pride in as this thing starts to roll out, get into people's hands. Is that it started from here, and it ended up here, and everybody loves it. And I can't imagine. I honestly, I can't imagine people are gonna hate this game. I mean, I can't picture it, because it's a great concept. It's there's depth to be had. That the trailers and the videos that we were showing shows it. I think you've got a winner on your hands, Joe.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Yeah, I hope so. I'm excited for 3 weeks after launch, and maybe I can take some time and like really understand what has been like happened in the last 2 years. And for now, it's pure nerves and imposter syndrome until the end. But
take your wife on a vacation.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's the real hero here, if we're being honest. Yeah, she's been amazing and supportive, and everything you can ever ask for something like this.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, amazing.
That's awesome. Does she play test it for you?
Yeah, she plays it. She's a great tester, because she does not play games, and so seeing how she interprets stuff does help a lot. Actually, it's really great.
That's awesome. Need to reach that audience. See, that's great.
But I think also the word and has got around pretty good. I think with the pandemic, and we're not able to go to PAX and so on. A game like this, maybe you would have been at PAX.
I would have
showed off.
to, yeah.
And but I've seen a lot of this just as much as like Death's Door. So, and Death's Door I think has done very well, right? It's on the Game Pass, but it's done very well, and I think it looks like it's gonna be successful.
Yeah,
so,
thank you.
And I mean, just to look at the chat room and see, Spooky said, it's awesome listening to your story, Joe, from your beginning to where you are now, which again, I'm glad that I asked you, because it's what we do with everybody. Indie Gamer says, you're so awesome, Joe, such a genuine guy on top of the amazing game developer part. Song of Iron, it's the start of something amazing for your indie development career. Spooky also said, such a down-to-earth guy, should be proud of your achievements, always interacting, always a blessing to hear from you. You have people that really are in your corner, that are really supporting this game. They're all in here, and
Yeah.
that should tell you something, right?
Yeah, and that's why I'm so thankful for it, because it does, and it, that stuff, and it's been around for a while, and it honestly, it keeps me going in a lot of ways, and that sounds so common to say, but it's surprising how much it's required when you're doing stuff like this, and it's been amazing. So
See,
yeah,
got another
endlessly
one.
thankful.
OEB Pete, one of our Gamers United Guild brothers from up north in Canada. He's actually on your coast of Canada too. Just
Hey.
pre-ordered. He just pre-ordered it on his Series X. So, he said side scroller that looks like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. Holy hot shit! Holy hot shite!
Yeah.
So
I like
he's
it.
see, that's
It's-
gotta enter. That's gotta make
Yeah.
it feel good.
It's running real good on that Series X, so you got the right system for it.
Yep, and it'll showcase it on his channel. I know we're gonna show it.
Appreciate
Indy's gonna show it. I mean, everybody,
Oh, yeah.
you're gonna get a lot of play out of
Yeah.
this. So, an Eternal Shaddai. When I saw the trailer for Song of Iron, that was so awesome. Story looks intriguing. Keep up the good work, Joe. Again, you got a lot of support here.
Yeah.
And so one more question for you, because
Sure.
I've been staring at it since you got here. What is that banner behind you?
The banner is from way back. I think it was 2006 when I was still in college. There was I forget what the conference was. It was a big tech conference. They had an animation contest, and they basically gave students 36 hours. They gave them some rigs, some stories. They flew us out, and it was like 15 teams of 3, and we just had to animate. And they asked us to bring like Viking flags to represent our teams, and so I still have mine. I kind of forget what we called ourselves. It started with an I, but it was something like intensity or something ridiculous. But we got 3rd place. Super happy. So yeah, it was super fun. Yeah, it was great. That animation is hilariously bad. But what do you expect? 36 hours, no sleep. And they were bringing it. It was so cool. They were bringing in like really good animators to talk about animation and distract us. Like I met a bunch of like old school 2D Disney animators that they had come through. The lead animator of Golem came through and talked to us a little bit, and like it was all this like really crazy. What an experience! But definitely can't get rid of that flag. So
Nice. Thought it was part. So I thought you got it made for the game. And see,
it's a whole separate Viking adventure I had.
That is outstanding. Let's
really
see. Just so you know, there's more. Caper Grant said, I never pre-order games, but had to pre-order this one. Back from the Dead says, I'm looking forward to streaming Song of Iron. The demo was great when I tried it.
Fantastic.
Dreadpool said, waiting for the Song of Iron trilogy.
Hopefully,
there you go.
That's the plan.
Ha! I think we got something here. There's going to be a trilogy.
I talked about it a little bit, but yeah, that's the plan for sure.
Nice, very nice. So, well, listen, Joe, I don't want to keep you any longer. It's only been an hour and a half, and I know you. I know you got a lot to do. As always, with everybody that comes on, you've officially become an honorary member of NLG. So anytime you want to come on, if you get the hanker to actually, once you start getting through that backlog of yours, you're like, man, I wish I had I wish I had a place I jump on and talk some games with some guys. Just shoot one of us a DM, and there's always room for you here to come talk and hang out. And heck, when you get your next game announced, we're here for you. So.
Sounds good.
But anytime you want to come on, anytime you want to come and just talk and just shoot industry breeze and talk gaming, you have a welcome place here with us.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm all for it. Definitely. All right. Then.
Okay, then we'll keep you to your word.
Done.
But
Easy.
Joe, thank you so much for spending some time with us. We really do appreciate it. Cannot wait for Song of Iron. It's gonna rock, and I we wish you all the best of luck heading into August 31st and getting this thing into people's hands.
Thank you very much. Thanks again for having me, and thanks everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I really, really do. Yeah.
Our pleasure. So, Joe, have a great weekend, sir, and we'll see you
Take
on
it
Twitter.
easy.
Yeah, thank you, Joe.
I'll be working. Yeah.
Good,
All right.
good luck with the launch.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. That is Joe Winter from Resting Relic Studio and Song of Iron. And great guy. Great guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Mm-hmm.
this is that's gonna be a hot game. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. So and so many people in the chat that are also looking forward to it. And that had to make him feel good. He said he's so nice he must be Canadian. He's close. He's in Seattle. So winter has left.
Yeah,
He
back
has
to
to
summer.
get right. He must get that a ton. Winter is coming.
Yeah.
So all right. I'm
I
gonna
don't know.
watch-
It's like when you see the scenes, he has some winter scenes in there. It's just, his name just fits the game too.
I know. Thank you, Spooky. Spooky says, great interview, guys. Joe's such a wonderful human being. He really is. He's a really cool guy. I'm glad that and I honestly do Washington is Canada, so is Minnesota. They just ain't accepted it yet. And I
Pretty
mean,
much.
I wanted to have him on months ago. I just me, I suck at this. But for him to go a month, the launch month, and he'll go, yeah, I'll come on with you. That's awesome. That's usually we get folks that go, really got to wait until after launch. That was big for him to come on and hang out with us while he's trying to finish the game.
That's why I told him. I've noticed he's been very open. He's, been on with Indy and others in the community, people that we know. So he's been very open to come on people's podcasts and of course he's got a game to kind of, promote, but he is a genuine guy. So.
Oh man. Sorry.
We got an angry Pete on our hands.
Yeah. Evil Pete is after me. He said, "Hey, I'm pissed at you as you never told me about this game. Seriously, this screams Pete." No, I didn't know that. I didn't know you were a Viking.
You didn't know.
I didn't know you were a Viking. I know. I didn't know you were a Viking. Like a Viking in your spare time. Forgiven. Thank you. I do not want to be on Evil Pete's side. He's bigger than me. Hey, Relic, what's happening, brother? So watch this. I have fixed. You know how when a person leaves, I usually have to mess with all the windows.
Yeah.
Watch this. Shazam!
Shazam! Oh
Shazam.
my goodness!
Look at that. I fixed it. I fixed the glitch. I don't have to work us around anymore. So, and I also changed the rapid fire news to news of the week because we never get through it rapid.
Yeah, that is true.
So,
maybe rabbit news or frothing.
Yes, the frothing news.
Yeah.
So I thought we'd talk about a couple of news items and then might actually call this an early night. So I think the interview speaks for itself. We only had him. It's funny. We only had him for 90 minutes, but man,
I feel like we did talk about it a lot.
I thought it felt like it was 3 hours. I mean, he really gave us a lot of great info.
He did.
Hopefully he was comfortable and we told him to be relaxed and stuff but we got a lot of great info from him.
Yeah.
So
great background.
I just realized that I probably get the game day one, but I won't be able to play unless I can play through my, to the xCloud with my Kishi or something.
Oh, you going to the beach?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well,
So
that's why I asked him about being on mobile. So.
Yeah. Oh, you guys have some great questions too. I interesting interesting discussion about Game Pass. I didn't realize he wanted to, because I thought that was telling that he wants to be on that he wants to be in there. So yeah, Spooky, I agree.
Gotta help out.
Yeah. Packed a lot for 90 minutes for sure. See, I'm getting better at this, guys.
Yeah.
I'm getting better at trying to keep us out of the 4-hour podcast.
All right, you're doing great. We need you for this. Me and Peter, we're not gonna sit here and ask all the questions.
Oh, you guys had some great questions tonight.
We did, but
We tried.
you're the lead, sir. We need you to spearhead.
Oh, I am not the lead. We are in this together.
Oh, I know we are, but
No,
me, Peter, choose you to be the lead the conversation, spearhead in the right direction.
Oh my God. Trying to butter me up for something.
But no, this was great, and I'm glad that you
It was.
got him on. And I think Dreadpool had a hand in helping with that.
Yes, he did. So,
so
he's in the
thank you,
chat.
Dredd.
Thank you so much. Dredd actually got. He was on with Dredd on another show, and he said, "Hey, you should go on NLG." I mean, he told him that, and then he DM'd me and him, and got the three of us in a DM, and said, "Hey, here's Myke from NLG. You guys should get together and do this." And so I know I said thank you to him last week, but we were streaming, so how many people heard that I don't know. But when he was in the stream when he was in the chat room with us, we thanked him. But I want to thank him again, because that was huge, and really appreciate him facilitating that. So really, this you're right. This is Dredd's credit for getting him. So Axel's here. So I said hi to Relic. Relic popped in. Axel popped in, and Pete does want us to go 5 hours because he's working. So I don't know if I can do that. So but oh, that's right. He was Ace Husk's creator feature. So
Okay, cool.
Which I'm gonna be on very soon. We're working out the date for that. Husk's gonna have me on. So and yeah, Spooky, this is why we ask everybody about their origin story, because you come to find out that that people, that gamers have such rich histories. I had no idea that he worked on Halo 5. Did you? I mean, I
believe I've heard that either on the Indies or I believe on Indies.
Okay, because I might have missed it when he said it there. I certainly didn't know about Terminator Salvation. I mean, we really do play that a lot.
I don't think that one came up that I remember. Yeah.
So
I have to go find it, play it.
It's at most arcades and Chuck E. Cheese's. I don't know why it's a Chuck E. Cheese. It's a very violent game, but
that's for the adults.
I think when you're at Chuck E. Cheese, you become violent down there, so you have to relieve some stress.
So, okay, he did talk about Halo and Indies. I must have missed when he talked about that. I know I checked him out, but I didn't. My short-term memory, because I'm old. So
I'm with Spooky. It's like I knew he was at P3 work at Halo, but not sure what version.
Well, now we know.
So it's 5 and Infinite.
And he worked on Infinite. I mean, that's
Oh, I should have asked him about the watermelon, the fruit gate.
I think he was gone by then. He did say that none of his assets were in the technical. So, but oh man, that was good stuff. It really was. So, so let's switch gears here. Let's talk about some news.
Those news this week besides Fruitgate.
Besides Fruitgate, some of it good, some of it not so good. There's a lot going on. One thing that and I'll let you bring it up. You brought it up in the Discord earlier there, Peter.
I'm a good paster of stuff. Doesn't mean I know what's going on. It's more like homework for you guys. Like, hey, check it out.
I see. I got you.
Yeah.
You posted it. Now you got spearhead.
Snap.
Conversation.
All right. So I could read it off. Yes, the Poly Mega is coming. OEB Pete's fine, dude. I am so all right. Go ahead.
It's almost like Poly News or
Been
Poly
waiting.
Journal or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Yes. No, I'm so happy for Pete too because I know how not happy he has been over Poly Mega and how he was really concerned about the fact that he paid them for this. And they basically had ghosted everybody for a while. The Poly Mega is launching on September 12th. So for those of you who actually pre-ordered it, it's coming. So they say.
And for people who don't know what it is Myke?
So the Poly Mega is a modular retro console. So it starts with a base unit which plays CDs, and it actually plays a number of different CD-based consoles. Now I'm going off of memory, so Pete can in the chat can correct me on what I don't remember, but from what I remember, it is capable of playing Sega CDs, Sega Saturn, Turbo Graphics, and Neo Geo CD. I believe that's all of them that I know of. There might be other.
Does it do PlayStation 1?
PlayStation 1. Thank you. That was the one I was missing. And Pete put it in the chat. PS1. So it does PS1 as well. So then on top of that,
my chat's delayed. Oh, it says top chat.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why top
It switches to top chat like midway. It's like, what the heck?
It does. Hey, brother Lance. So that's the base unit, comes with a controller, and that in and of itself, I mean, that's really great for playing the CD-based games. It's all HDMI, so it's kind of an all-in-one. You can also install the games to the system, so it's got a hard drive on it, and it catalogs them.
Does it have an NVMe? Just kidding.
Yeah.
With a heatsink.
Later.
Right. Does not do ray tracing. I'm sorry. So then you get modules, and these modules can run cartridge-based games. So you have a Nintendo module, for example, and you can actually take real Nintendo controllers and plug it into the module. In fact, I'll tell you what, I will bring this up on the screen so people can see exactly what it does. Give me 1 second. Oops, let me get rid of the logo. Okay, so you can, I'll bring this over here. There's the base unit, which plays the CDs. There is the Nintendo unit, which plays NES games. You can plug NES controllers to it.
Should you stack those, or how does it work?
They stack on top of the base unit. Okay. So you plug it into the base unit, and it's a modular system. Then you have a SNES, a Genesis or Mega Drive. Why is this not letting me?
So how would you stack those? Because it looks like the cartridges are on the top, right? So you can only stack one at a time?
Yes, you can only stack one at a time.
Okay.
There's a Turbo Graphics unit that also plays the Turbo Graphics cards. And then have a great night, Indie Gamer. Get some sleep, brother. Thank you so much.
Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah. Yes.
I know it's late.
And they are working on a gun controller. They are working on a light gun that plays light gun
LCD
games
screens
on HD. Yep.
Nice.
That's what they're saying. For some reason on this site I can't scroll like I do with others.
Project Jeff is catching up, I think, because he just mentioned Fruitgate's like another dumb thing on social media. Yeah.
Yes, it is. So the light gun, see if I can.
Now, that would be cool. So you can play the original like Duck Hunts and stuff.
Yes, using Sinden's revolutionary optic positioning system. I don't know why this is showing in. I don't know why the color scheme is all off. Playing legacy light gun games on an HD TV is now reality. Our subcompact light gun is designed to feel comfortable in the hand with a near-perfect center of gravity, preventing arm fatigue while shooting for an extended period of time. So, that is the That's a light gun. So you can
Hey,
actually.
one thing that's that the CD one doesn't do is like CDI.
It does not do the Philips CDI. No, it does not.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a big miss. Got a full point of deduction right there.
That's right. Now it's 6 because, hey, Rab, what's up, brother? He's waiting on a modular retro VHS gaming system to play his Action Max, Select Merchandising Challenger Center, and Sega Taiko video driver systems. So the Polymega light gun is playable on Saturn, PS1, SNES, Genesis, and NES games. So you could use it for the Zapper for Duck Hunt. You could use it as the Menacer for Lethal Enforcers and games like that. The Super Scope and the Virtual Gun, so virtual cop and all that. See, there you go.
Nice.
Brian says he wants his CDI Zelda games.
Yeah.
So this is the gun's $109. So imagine when they announce the Dreamcast module, Mike will lose his shit. You know what though? Here's the thing. All right, so if it wasn't $450, and I wasn't already invested.
That's for the base, right?
That's for the base, and I wasn't already invested in the Amico, I might take a run at this. Because while I already have a Sega Saturn, I wouldn't use it for the Saturn because I have real hardware for the Saturn. I would absolutely use it as a PlayStation, as a Sega CD, TurboGrafx CD, and Neo Geo CD. Because right now for Sega CD and PlayStation, I'm emulating, because those are games I own. Saturn I play on Saturn hardware.
So this is more like hardware emulating, right?
This is
And do you have some,
emulation.
Say again?
It is emulation, but it's an emulation inside with the hardware to it's
With a bit more hardware instead of just the software. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what. See, it used to be an FPGA system that had kind of the hardware chipsets, but it is emulation. So it's not RetroArch or anything like that, but it is it is emulation. So, but that's okay.
Pete says cancel your Amico.
Not a chance. That ain't happening. Tommy will never talk to me again if I did that. Hey, Tommy, I'm going to cancel my Founders Edition Amigo because I want a Polymega. I think he'd never talk to me again. I wouldn't talk to me again. So the emulators inside of it are legally licensed versions of Madnafson, Messin, Keg of Fusion, which I know is so. I know the Keg of Fusion one. That's the Sega one. And MAME with additional bug fixes. CD BIOS development and replaced the YM2610 for Neo Geo CD from PlayMagi. So it's using MAME and Keg of Fusion. I mean, this is true. The system will allow you to put, all your disc collections on a device and not use your discs. That is true. So
I mean, from a conservation standpoint, it's an awesome idea.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just really expensive, and if you want to do carts, so the base unit itself is, $449. If you want to get the base unit,
so you get a NES or SNES.
So the SNES, let's see. Give me a second. Let me go back to the shop here. Console, come on. So the modules are $79 a piece. The gun is $109, and extra controllers are $30. Now they've got a bundle for $649. Normally $765. Back to work. Boss calling. Must pretend to be productive. Shush, everyone. Okay. All right. So, Mr. OEB Pete, we'd like to see the numbers on that new food additive that you're working on, and we need it on our desk in six hours, please. I will.
And those TPS reports are.
Yes,
right?
with cover sheets.
Cover sheets.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you want to buy a a bundle that's got the base unit and all of the modules, it's $650.
Oh, okay.
So I mean that's not bad because
That's it's really
usually
the base unit
$755.
is like, you know,
Yeah.
it's your initial investment. That's
So each modular also have emulation.
Yes.
does it have emulation, or is it just for reading the cards and stuff?
Well, the module I think has the emulation in it too. Well, maybe you're right. You might be right. It might be a pass through because but at least it does allow you to use your real controllers. So if you have Super Nintendo controllers, you can plug them right in. If you've got Genesis controllers, you plug them right in.
Yeah, it probably has some emulation for that translated to whatever, you know, the internal base unit, whatever it is.
Oh man. So that's coming soon. That is September 12th. And I am very much looking forward. I've seen people stream the beta, but I'm really looking forward to Pete streaming the real things. I really want to see what this is about. Like I say, I could understand it. I mean, a fully functioning, to be honest, if you went out and tried to get a fully functioning Sega Genesis with Sega CD, you're gonna pay about $350. You're gonna pay about $100 for the Genesis and $250 for the Sega CD. So for another $100, you're gonna get all the rest of the content, you know, that you want to run games on. Yeah. So it might be something that I would invest in if I get a good bonus from work this year. You know?
Mike's boss, you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get spooky sprockets on it. Talk to your boss.
There you go. Why it's Pete's boss. Where you never go to see the light of day.
Him too. Yeah.
Earthworm Amico. So that's that. So I'm glad you brought that up, OEB Pete, because it is good news. It's good news, and I am really glad that it's finally coming. Hey, what's up, John? Brother, retro bro.
What's up, John?
In the house. All right, so moving on. So one of the things that you did post in the chat today, the Discord today, Peter, was, and we forgot to do it as a thread.
Oh yeah, we know how that goes. Yeah, Discord now has threading.
Yes, and we said, oh, we're gonna use it for, and never did.
Never did. Well, it's only when you have like a ton of stuff, you know.
Yeah, which we'll probably have shortly because the summer is almost over.
Yeah.
So he's going back to work, and he just got done. So, Focus Home Interactive purchased Dotemu, and so that's news.
See, I wouldn't even know how to pronounce it, so that's why you have to read it off. Dotemu.
I'm just guessing it's Dotemu.
Oh.
I'm expecting someone else to correct me.
Well, maybe it was. Well,
I'm the one who.
Maybe I would say .mu, but
that could be.
Who knows?
Keep in mind, I'm the guy who keeps calling Hideo Kojima. So I am not the guy that you want pronouncing people's names. But so
we'll never get him on. That's okay.
That's okay. Or he'll come on simply to correct me.
Oh, maybe.
He'll have his translator. Why do you keep saying his name wrong, sir? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know who will yell at me? Jeff Keighley.
Yeah.
He'll send me.
It'll both come on. You will yell and.
Yes, I get it from both sides.
From both sides.
So anyway, so Focus Home Interactive has bought Dotemu, or however you say it. So this is interesting because, you know, obviously we all know them from Tale of a
Oh,
what?
Drapple.
We know them from re-releasing things like Another World, Double Dragon, and Streets of Rage 4. And they also, I don't know if you guys know this, but they also are developing Windjammers 2, as well as they do Ys Origin and Heroes of Might and Magic 3 HD. So they are going to own them, which means they are also going to, I'm assuming that means they're going to now be the ones that are going to publish Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge. Because it says, Focus Home Interactive is expanding its offering and editorial lines through the acquisition of the Temu, which will continue to publish and produce unique titles with strong commercial potential, driven by cult video game and pop culture licenses such as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Metal Slug Tactics, as well as other quality titles to be announced in the coming months. Above all, the Temu will benefit from Focus Home Interactive's expertise in the field of AA games, which will enable it to develop even more ambitious projects, including remakes or sequels of the first games of the 3D era, the games of the early 2000s. That got my attention, because there were some good games that came out in that first part of the 3D era in the 2000s that I would love to see as a remake for later on. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So, now, if Cinemaware would come back again, that would be awesome. But I mean, consider in the year 2000, we had games like 3D Ultra Pinball, 4x4 Evo. There were games coming out on consoles that were, kind of just getting started, right? Imagine some games like Alone in the Dark as a remake. I know they've tried that before, but really didn't do a good job at it. So there's a lot that they could do if they've got the licenses for it. So that's that.
Some other news is 3DFX is coming back.
Yes. So what the hell? All right.
Yeah. Voice is going to be like a a rebranded NVIDIA card.
So I'm not okay. So I got fooled a couple weeks ago with a fake Interplay announcement. Right? We all did. Everybody got fooled by it. And it turns out that Interplay, while they're doing something, I got fooled by it because they're not doing what they had announced, what the fake announced. So a couple of things that caught my eye, and it's gone. So hold on a second, because FX, let's see if it's still even around. So yeah. 3DFX, this account is no longer in use. Follow ATI parody. So this was fake.
Yeah.
So
are people now doing that? Just having fake jazz.
Yeah. It was and I knew that it was too good to be true. I was like, you know what? I said, I'm not believing this because of the Interplay thing, but if true, the voodoo cards were my jam. But it was too good to be true. And it looks like that it is. So Because next, what's next? Creative Labs will say they're coming back too with a new Sound Blaster card for your
DMA.
Adlib is coming out with a brand new card.
Yeah. Woohoo!
Yay! So there's that. That's that. Thanks a lot for whoever created that account.
Yeah.
Oh, screw yourself. I'm sorry, I didn't say that out loud. So that's what's going on there.
Because it was kind of weird, right? Because I forgot who it was. Was it NVIDIA that bought their what do you call it? Their
trying to think
stuff.
who. I don't know. I don't know. Let me see.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was
NVIDIA.
NVIDIA.
Yeah, NVIDIA acquired 3DFX in about 2009. So, yeah. And I mean, I love 3DFX.
So NVIDIA could play a funny thing with that. Just brand one of their cards. Like, here's the NVIDIA
the Voodoo 5
3DFX 3090.
Right.
Something.
Oh man, what's next? Hercules cards. That's right. So, yeah, this is it's getting stupid out there, to be honest.
Yeah, that's just.
So moving on to some more bizarre news. Well, not bizarre, but we've got to. There's a lot. There really is a lot going on over at Activision. We talked about it last week. The things sort of continue. Shareholders are now suing Blizzard. So on top of the state of California, now shareholders are suing them with a class action lawsuit, alleging that they were economically damaged by company executives withholding information and allegations that recently came to light. I'm looking at the filing of that, and I mean, they're this is a class action on behalf of the person or entities who purchased or otherwise acquired publicly traded Activision Blizzard securities between August 4th, 2016, July 27th, 2021. Plaintiff seeks to recover compensational damages caused by the defendant's violations of the federal securities laws under the Securities Exchange Act of 1934. This shit is getting serious now. And I know, and I agree with you to many extents, Chris. I know you've said a couple of times, this has to play out in court, because there's always multiple sides to a story, right?
It's going to, and I think that's why Activision really, what they've come out and said is PR speak, right? They really can't say much because, they
should keep their mouth shut.
Yeah,
you dig a hole.
Yeah.
And that's
deeper,
and that's what they're doing is they're digging a hole within their own company because their employees are not they're not happy with the response that Activision has given so far. And on top of that, they've had a major shakeup on the Blizzard side. As J. Allen Barrick left, he's stepping down. Now he said I'm stepping down to pursue other opportunities. But come on, this is
what's an opportunity? Staying out of jail is an opportunity,
right?
Yeah.
I am. This doesn't look good at all. And
he resigns himself, so he still gets his perk.
Yeah.
Yes. and so Jen O'Neill and Myke Ibarra are going to take over as co-leaders of Blizzard. So,
Also funny title, right? Co-leaders instead of
yes, co-leaders.
Hmm.
Yeah, they don't really have a title. It's
yeah.
you know,
Well, I mean, it's a temporary situation where, at some point you're gonna have to have a new CEO, new management come in and just pretty much clean house as
yeah.
far
How
as management wise, right? I mean, they really got to turn things around.
Yeah. But you have to start all the way on the top, and who knows if
Yeah.
that's going to happen or not.
And they got they have the money. They're gonna have to, whatever happens with these lawsuits in court, they're gonna have to pay, and investors aren't happy. They're gonna lose some money, but they want to. I can't imagine Activision falling apart. I mean, this is big, and it's gonna hurt them bottom line, but they should be able to, if they get the right people in to help turn things around.
yeah.
I mean, Call of Duty's huge, right? I mean,
Yes. So,
So-
interestingly, in all of this,
yeah,
and 2 days ago was their earnings report. Now, granted, this is pre-lawsuit.
hmm
They were up 19% revenue growth to $2.29 billion for the second quarter, ending June 30th. So that's they're they hadn't seen that yet, so they've got some room to maneuver. The question is, will that survive? Because their stock price went up too. So who knows where the stock price is sitting now? And Call of Duty is going to continue. They're not stopping that train. There's still Diablo 4, which was delayed, wasn't it? I mean, Diablo 2 Resurrected is coming out September 23rd. That's going to be huge.
Yeah.
Diablo Immortal is still coming out for mobile. And then they're working on Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2. So the company itself it depends on how they navigate this. I think it depends on how they navigate it outside of court, because right now, whether it's fair or not, they're in the court of public opinion. And man, this is This is a bad year. This is a bad time to be in this part of the court of public opinion, because this just doesn't look good. And the longer Bobby Kotick stays there,
Yeah.
I think the worse it's going to be. I mean, Rab said it. It'll likely be an exit of much of the leadership. It has to be. Axel says titles in Blizzard, CEO down to president, down to co-leaders, keeps reducing leadership to each resignation. So my question to you two is, can Bobby Kotick stay at Activision and survive, and Activision survive this? Or does he have to
Can he or should he?
Both. So let me put it, give me both.
I mean, I think he should not. I mean, it happens on his watch. He should have the people in place that report to him. If they can report to him and he puts his people in place and he didn't remove those people, I mean, it's the
The captain is responsible for
the captain is responsible. He goes down with the ship.
Yep.
I mean,
well, the ship ain't going
and
down.
that's why those guys. That's why those guys are making millions and millions of dollars, because when S hits the fan, I mean, he should not get any money. Golden parachute. That's it. I mean, if that's it.
Yeah. So
and I did read also too. They had an IT guy who had a camera in the restroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they found out, of course, the guy got fired. I mean, you're always going to have big corporations like that. You have all kinds of people that work there. These, you know, you have HR, and you're always going to have bad apples. But you have to have from management to, you know, they have to have foster an environment where you're not going to tolerate harassment of any kind. You know, I've worked at Lockheed for years, and I would say even right before 2000, we were already taking diversity and ethics classes, and we had to do it yearly. So it was beating us that we're not going to tolerate harassment of any kind. And, you know, I've worked on crews where majority of us were men, young, you know, and we joke around and have fun. But I would say, you know, we have upstanding guys, and we did not tolerate harassment of anybody. You know, like you said, Mike, before, you know, if you were raised right, you learn to be respectful of people from, you know, no matter what, you should know better, and you should never allow any kind of harassment happen right in front of you. Got to speak up, and that's one thing that's always
and that should not happen in, you know.
Yeah, you should not allow it.
The frat boys, you know, during college either. I mean,
yeah, and it happens in a lot of places, and it gets out of hand, and some people, they don't, not, you know, get rid of it, you know, right away. And it's like Activision management, even though they have an HR department, you know, somehow.
Yeah, I mean, HR was, you know, it's part of harassment too.
Yeah, they were in on it.
And also, like, HR, you know, really works for
the company, and that is true.
I mean, if that would not be the case, you would have an independent HR company, you know.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
More as a company, you know, pays for that service. And
yeah, and there are times you will have disgruntled employees, and people always, you know, hey, I'm not happy, and they always disagree with management, and they will make claims, right? And you always have that, and that's why I say that sometimes you got to let this play in court and see what happens. But I think there's enough there that people that work there have leaked some of this, that there's got to be some truth to it. And, you know, shame on the management at Activision for allowing it to get this far. So,
and a lot of stuff, like, you know, at other companies where that happens, you never hear anything because it's getting settled. Like,
it does,
before it reaches court and get in the paper. So, but this seems to be like so many different spots. It's like they can't have like a couple of individuals that settle right now, and you don't hear anything.
Yeah, you can't.
Getting a little out of hand.
It really is, and I don't know how Kotick. I really don't know how he survives this. I mean, there's, you know, and I think part of the issue is his response. You know, his response should have been, you know, I look. Do I think he knew every single solitary little thing that happened there? No CEO does, but you can't tell me that they did cube crawls. The women forced the women to do, you know, cubicle crawling and all that stuff, and he didn't know about that, or he didn't take action. I mean, you know, a lot of people might have even covered this up, and he can say that. He's got to come out and say, you know what? Or he should have. He can't now. You can't put this genie back in the bottle. He could have come out on day one and said, I didn't know everything that was going on. People hid things from me. I am absolutely outraged. I am angry. Those people are gone immediately. And this is what I am going to do to take care of this situation, and take the reins and get done. I mean, he did none of that. He did none
or
of that.
hire an outside company to investigate, you know, what really went down. If he
Right.
didn't know, and, you know, you have to.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, California was not happy with their internal investigation and their solution, and that's why California is stepping in.
Right.
So, He should go because if it got to this point where now the state is getting involved in your internal affairs that you were supposed to take care of, he should go. I think those investors should demand it. And like Rab has been saying, they need a clean house.
Yeah,
so
they do.
They just have to. You need to bring in someone who's like kind of like Microsoft, Satya, whatever,
Satya
that-
Nadella. Yep.
that is able to, kind of bring peace and calm everything down and make the company look like it's a friendly and so on, right? But yeah, they got to do it.
Yeah. And another piece of this too is that if there are true discrepancies in their hiring practices and their pay scale and things like that, it should never have gotten that far either. If you're a good company and you're run correctly, you don't have to create an inclusion and diversity division in order to make sure that you're being inclusive and diverse with your
but quite often those will be put in place because somebody complains. People complain like, "Hey, it's not fair," or this or that. Even if it is, so you need to have somebody. It's when you create something as a buffer almost between.
Yeah. Well, but what they're talking about with this is making sure that they hit their. I'm sorry, check the boxes. I mean, that really is what they're talking about with this, and I don't agree with that. If you are a good enough company, Microsoft doesn't have that problem. Microsoft hires the best people no matter where they come from. Activision should have always hired the best people no matter who they are, what color, religion, creed, whatever, background, or whatever their origin was. If they can do the job, you pay them fair amount to do the job. And
but how many jobs do you have where you apply and it's like they provide you a range. This job pays between X and Y, and and you kind of have to give your number. It's not like
Yeah.
Sometimes you do. Sometimes you give. Yep.
I mean, that's. I mean, a lot of companies are still that.
Yeah.
Instead of like this position, this is the amount you will make for this position. Bam. There's no range or whatever. It's like,
Right. You know it going in, and you can make that call whether or not you want to work there or not. So. So yeah, I mean, and I think too for the they've got a lot of people that need to look at Activision differently from the gaming side too, because is this going to hurt the Call of Duty franchise? No, because honestly, and I hate to say it, and I don't agree with it, but those players don't care about this. The people playing Call of Duty, they're going to do their tournaments, they're going to make their money. They don't care.
Oh yeah.
But the people playing the other games, the people playing Diablo, where there's no esports to live through, to an extent, I think this would affect Overwatch,
Yeah. I mean, it's however you look at it, like you either boycott it or don't buy it. I mean, the people who are really getting hurt in the end is the actual, your animators, your coders, and all the other stuff. I mean,
point.
You don't give them any money, then there's people, don't make their, expected bonuses. That it's like they make low wages with the intent of making it up with bonuses and stuff because the games are gonna sell. So
that is a good point.
And the thing is, like the people on the top is like, they don't care. They make the big bucks regardless. It's the guys on the ground floor in the trenches that are getting hurt.
So do we know? Because Activision is the parent company, right? And you have all the studios that are under them. There's 2 or 3 studios that do Call of Duty games.
There's yes,
You got
Treyarch,
Treyarch, and so
Sledgehammer.
have we heard of which studios that were having these issues? Because Activision is the parent company and they have the HR, right? But
Right.
there's got to be, you have management at each of these studios.
Something had to have gone on at Blizzard for. I mean, Blizzard has had. See you next time, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Blizzard's had a history of issues. This isn't the first time Blizzard's been involved in stuff. And so the fact that their head guy stepping down, yeah, that definitely says something. And the fact that Blizzard employees walked out last week, some big stuff that's probably where the biggest of the issues came from, was the Blizzard side of the house. I know that statements were made by, people inside of Infinity Ward. So I don't think Infinity Ward was a big part of this. I think a lot of it came from Blizzard.
Blizzard themselves, their studio.
Yeah. I don't think the Candy Crush people were doing it.
Yeah.
But,
what's that? What's the MMO game? I keep
World of Warcraft.
I don't play it. And that's a huge one, right? You probably have people that have been there forever, and if it was happening in that studio, they let somebody there had too much fun, let the foster an environment that got out of hand.
Yeah,
and here we are. So I know I've seen people on Twitter say, "Oh, I'm not going to support. I'm not buying Call of Duty. I'm not buying Diablo." Blah blah blah. And they have that right, like Peter said. We can vote with our wallet. We can boycott, not buy their games. But there's more to Activision than just one studio or so. And I'm still buying Diablo 2 remastered. Because there are many people there that work on it that had nothing to do with what was going on. So, I mean, to me, I don't think they deserve to be hurt. Hopefully, like we said, management gets a clean sweep, get the right people in, and turn things around. Because going forward, you can have people who apply and, like you said, have a fair shake at getting hired, no matter their background. So,
right.
Because I mean, us three, we have kids. Me and Peter have daughters. We want them to be able to go somewhere and work without being worried about being harassed because they're females, or whatever. So, yeah, it's got to be stamped out.
Yeah, it does. And well, I think
I mean, the board of the investors, and there's the main thing that can really do that quickly to oust the top. I don't know about employees what they can do unless they're the lawsuits, and who knows.
Well, they might have their own
point,
lawyers, right?
But who knows? It's like
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a mess. And other companies out there, gaming companies, but they better take notice. They better get their HR in check, because I even saw something from what's his name? He used to be from Activision. He's in charge of Undead Labs, and he's all for unionizing developers. So this could be a start to, there's a union for people that work on these games. So, yeah, we'll see. But these companies better get their shit together.
Yeah.
I know. And you hope so. I mean, it's going to be an interesting fall, right? Because Call of Duty's coming out, Diablo 2's coming out.
Is it?
Well,
We
yeah,
don't know about Call of Duty.
I'm
100%.
sure they're gonna.
Like I said, 90% of people that play Call of Duty are not hardcore gamers. That's all they play. That's all they care.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of.
I mean, they can keep the existing one going. You know.
True. Probably still selling. So.
Yeah.
It's man. So
Just
anyhow,
have another season pass and
there
off
you
they
go. There you go. So,
get your weapon skins and.
so some stuff going on over on the PlayStation side. Good news for PlayStation fans. Carrion and Oxenfree 2 are coming. Carrion being I know Chris, you played that.
Yes.
Peter, did you play Carrion?
Yes.
No, I still need to play that.
Yeah, me too.
It's on my.
That's another game that's not a long game, but like we were talking with Joe.
Yeah.
It's a great one to try. You could play it in one sitting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I should play that.
Mm-hmm.
And more PS5s are hitting shelves, so go looking for one. Me backseat 5 hours is no joke. We're not going 5 hours.
He's working on a compressed work schedule.
That's right. So the they've sold 10 million 10.1 PS5s. That's excellent. And they are getting more on the shelf. However, interestingly enough, they've lost 1 million subs in their PlayStation Now subscribership, or I'm sorry, PSN's the overall
PSN Plus. Is it
PSN Plus.
Yeah.
Well, there's been a drop, and there's been a drop of 10 million active players on PSN, although they've maintained their subs. So Sony is shaking this off as, pandemic people. The pandemic is people. The lockdown.
Hopefully, those are not the people who died.
Oh,
that would be tragic.
Eesh.
Sorry.
Wow.
Well, I mean, there a lot of people have been affected by it, and the last thing they're thinking of is continuing my subscription on something.
Well, right, and so they're saying now that lockdowns are lifting, people have less time for gaming, and some of them are canceling their subscriptions. So,
yeah, it could be. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, that didn't play games anymore, went out and bought a system because they were kind of confined to their homes, and they picked up gaming again. But yeah, I mean, once stuff opens up and you can go outside and have more some in-person socialization, that might cause them to drop the PlayStation subscription.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just shrug it off. I mean, if it's like, if they lose, 1 million subscribers every month, then we might have
different.
to look for a good reason.
Oh yeah. So on the other side of things, there's been no real news from Game Pass, although that's holding steady. They are getting 5 racing games this month from EA and Codemasters. Dirt 4, Dirt Rally, which Dirt Rally I thought was already in there.
Well, it left. I think
did
it leave?
Okay.
I think we had it in Game Pass and then it left. But now with the Codemaster acquisition by EA, put it in what used to be called the Vault.
Yes. So, Dirt 4, Dirt Rally 2.0, F1 2020, and Grid are coming in.
I'm excited about the Formula 1 2020.
Yeah.
Because 2019 was in it, and I've been playing that. Actually, I got the DLC for that, so you can run as Senna and Prost and have the ancient battles going on. Legendary. Nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And
really wish they put 2021 in it, but that's just came out, so
yeah, that's gonna be a while. So, GTA 5 is leaving Game Pass again. But Skate is coming in. So, there's actually some cool games coming. Katamari Damacy Reroll. I'm actually a closet Katamari Damacy fan. I played that on the older Xbox systems, and it's goofy fun. It's hard to explain, but it's just goofy fun. It's very corny. So, Hades, Skate 3, all coming to Game Pass as well. And
On PC, we
That's-
get Solitaire.
that's true.
Okay.
It's
Oh.
true.
That means I can play that without ads.
So, and Xbox Series X's are also making their way onto shelves. And actually, Microsoft has said that the Xbox Series X is the fastest selling, the best selling Xbox console to date, to life of any console previous, and that includes the Hot 360. So that's good news for Microsoft as well, as they, they're obviously still behind Sony. I don't think they're ever going to overtake the PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, it's
at this
like
point.
Sony's
but-
mind share is like huge,
Yeah, but
Well, and they're in more markets too. So
yeah, but having
yeah.
let's say they've already sold 7 to 8 million. That's great.
I mean, all big three are doing well.
They
Yeah.
are. They are all
They-
doing well.
They have no
Oh.
reason to complain.
Nope.
No, not at all. Now Nintendo stock went down 9% after a weak earnings report, though, and a buyback announcement. So, their stock is dropping. They missed their quarterly estimates. So, now they're saying the same thing. Could be that
Yeah.
people are getting out again. And it
Do you
announced
think
there's
too people were like anticipating, a Switch Pro or whatever was coming?
Yeah.
So maybe some people are holding off on,
Well-
buying the Switch. But that includes software and everything, numbers too, right? So overall,
Yes. Well, they've also so basically, they also had a big giant breakout COVID title called Animal Crossing: New Horizons. They don't
Mhm.
have anything that matched that. So part of that is there. Plus, they are saying now they are blaming some of this on semiconductor shortages and logistics,
yeah.
which is fair. Knowing what we know about the Amico.
Yeah, but you see plenty of. I mean, each time I go to Target, I'll see Switches. At least the
True.
light ones. The
Yeah.
other ones too. So it's. I don't know. It's.
Some of that could be too that there aren't big games to sell on the system right now.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I
sequel,
mean-
Zelda, the next Zelda game won't be out till next year. And people could be waiting on the OLED system now. Because that comes out October 8th. So people could be
Yeah.
holding off.
Maybe.
So,
Well,
But yeah, I mean, once the new Zelda comes out, it will sell some hardware with it. Well, just
right. Now, despite all that, they're still on pace to be the first of the three to reach 100 million unit sales. So, it all depends on what happens with the new OLED model.
yeah.
So, Rab says, shouldn't these be there are 45 million more North Americans, Europeans, Australian than there were in 2013? You'd think with growing populations, growing disposable income, these would sell faster. Yeah, I do agree with that, but I think some of the mystique is coming off because again, there isn't a big game. There isn't a big game to sell with it right now. I mean, unless people are still gonna. I mean, yeah, I get that Mario Kart and the original Zelda are still high sellers, but I don't think they're system sellers anymore. Unless
What's
I'm wrong.
the latest NPD? Do we have July's already out? Or are we still waiting on that one?
I don't think it's out yet.
Yeah, you'll get that. I
Just
think you'll
June,
get that
right?
next. Yeah, you'll
Yeah,
get
I think
July's
so.
next week. It's usually second week of the.
Yeah.
week
But
of the
I
month.
mean, every month, how many Nintendo games are still, as far, in the top 20? I mean,
Right.
how many times we see that? these
See,
past
that's
couple
by
years,
dollar value, and those games are always like still full price. They don't
Yeah.
have many sales. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
since that's by dollar sale, they have to sell less units to still. But then once again,
That's really the news of the week. I mean, obviously the Activision Blizzard stuff sucks the air out of the room for everybody, but
well,
No.
yeah, and one new thing was the PlayStation OS beta.
Yes, which I got invited to. Didn't get invited
Ooh.
to the Halo Infinite.
Are you gonna
technical
stick
beta,
a?
but
Yeah, I don't think any of the three of us were invited to the.
No.
I don't think I was, but maybe I didn't check my email.
That
That would be
I'm not
funny.
going to you because you might.
yeah, better
get
not,
mad at
because
me.
we'll boot you right
Yeah.
from the show. Well, hopefully we have a better luck in the next round.
Yeah, there's gonna be more before
Yes.
release. So
It's just disappointing. I don't
It
know.
is. It
Yeah.
is disappointing because
Yeah.
everybody around us got in. It was
I
like,
know, right?
Pretty much.
You know?
Well, there's some people like. There's some people where you think like, man, even those didn't get invited. So it was like, I don't know what that criteria was. Maybe it was just completely random.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I know I was signed up, but
Or
I was definitely signed up.
oh yeah, we made sure we were signed up. Like as soon as they announced it, like, oh, you have to sign up. We checked, all ready to go. Yeah. Oh, but going back to the PlayStation OS beta. So are you getting your NVMe with heatsink?
Oh,
I'm still curious. Like,
okay, I'm not in that beta.
oh,
No, I didn't get invited to that beta. No,
oh,
I got invited to the PS4 beta.
oh, oh.
So, sorry, no. So I got invited
Because I'm very curious, because that area is not very big, right? Where you stick the NVMe in, and then you also have to put a heatsink on there, and they have like, okay, I mean, first of all, Sony is like completely hands off, like, and you try it on your own risk kind of thing. But then it's like even the space. So you find a card that works, and you have to put a heatsink on there that works. But then it doesn't look like there's much airflow, touching the heatsink. I mean, still need to have some,
Well, didn't the Asus, was it Asus that showed that, hey, we got one, and it comes
but then
with the
and then
heatsink,
also
right?
like there's like a little metal plate that lays on top of that where you screw back in. So there's like no breathing area. I mean, even though you have the heatsink, I mean, that area still gets pretty hot, I would think. So I'm curious how,
Well, it was Seagate, the one that had tweeted out, right? Said,
yeah,
hey,
I think so. Right.
Yes.
But have we heard anything officially from Sony themselves
No.
saying,
No,
hey,
not Sony says like here are the
recognize-
ones that work great. No.
And I don't think they can. I don't think
See,
they can
and that's
because
that's weird to me because
I think they need to. I think that I kind of understand why, because they don't want people, if this thing breaks their system, they don't want people coming back to them.
they want
Saying,
people to
right.
blame the people
Right.
that made the
Yeah.
SSDs.
Oh, right. You told us to buy this drive, and now this drive
Yeah.
bricked my console, and I get that. So
But see,
And maybe
that-
they need a bigger sample pool too for checking to see which ones work and which ones, because when
And then whoever
that,
wins, they're gonna say, "Hey, this is one we recognize."
yeah, I mean, when those SSDs get hot, excuse
All
me,
right.
get
So
hot, then the performance will,
yeah.
slow down.
So
So
let me see if I can. Let's see if this website works. Hang on. Because
Yeah.
here's the official PlayStation site for the beta and what they're saying.
yeah,
And there was something from Mark Cerny too about.
yeah. Mark Cerny says like, "Oh, I put in this one and it works great."
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's great, Mark. Thank you.
I mean, does it work great like playing this thing for 12 hours straight, like a game that creates a lot of heat?
Yeah.
Or does it just work like, oh yeah, I plugged it in, and it's like, oh yeah, it works great. Yeah, for 10 minutes. You don't know.
No,
I'm
we don't.
curious. I'm just
Mhm.
yeah.
So you have to. All right. It's important that you only use a supported M2 SSD to expand your PS5 console storage. All right. So the requirements are anywhere from it's got to be a PCI Gen 4
Mhm.
M2 up to 4 terabytes. It has to have a 5500 megabyte or faster sequential read speed. We kind of knew that from earlier.
Yeah.
One of these form factors has to be a socket 3 and has to have a cooling structure that fits inside the case, by the way.
Yeah.
So they show you pictures of what, M2 SATA SSDs are not supported. And
Right.
they make it very clear. Sony cannot guarantee that all M2 SSD drives meeting the described specifications will work with your console and assumes no responsibility for the selection, performance, or use of third-party products. So that's why they can't tell you about it.
Yeah.
And here's the kicker. Now, nobody that I know of has said anything about this. Not all games are necessarily playable with the exact same performance provided by the PS5 console's internal ultra high-speed SSD, even where the M2 SSD device's sequential speed is faster than 5,500 megabits per second. So what this is how they hedge their bets.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like, hey, don't come sue us, because
Right. If it doesn't work right, it's not our fault.
too
We
bad.
can't. Right. We didn't tell you to put an expansion in here. So.
But with all of this, when you look at Microsoft, that's like a wicked elegant solution.
Yes. Yeah.
I
Plug
just
it in and go.
wish they came in bigger sizes. And it would also be nice if there's more competition on just Seagate, so maybe the price will come down a little bit. But overall, it's like, just the way it is. It's hot pluggable.
Yep.
And it just
It's
works.
clear. I mean, right away.
It's clear. There are no parts that you can touch, that you can fry.
No mystery.
Fry the components unless you use a paperclip and start prodding around. But
right.
then you'll be good.
Yep. If you stop using the beta program version and restore the system software to the official release version, and you have an M2 SSD inserted, you will need to remove it before restoring the system software.
You have to remove it?
If you do not remove your M2 SSD before restoring, the system software might not work correctly, and you might need to install the beta program version again to fix the problem.
Oh my goodness. Serious?
Yes.
That's...
So I love how it also
here's
says...
the thing. What if this SSD will never leave beta? It will always be in the beta version, but never in the full release. Till they have a hardware revision.
That would be hilarious.
Would that be something?
So it says you'll need a well-lit room with a table to work on, a Phillips head screwdriver, and a small flashlight optional. So...
What if you want to use a large flashlight? You're screwed.
You're screwed. Use a large flashlight, you're gonna brick your console.
Hey.
So
it's just a little messy. Especially it's like it's like It's really like good luck.
Right, right.
If it works for you, great. If not,
Wasn't our fault. We didn't tell you to
wasn't
do
our
it.
fault.
So,
Because I mean, even like people who don't want to do that themselves or have no idea how to do it, you know, I'm pretty sure at one point, like if this was officially supported, you know, Best Buy or you know, GameStop or in your Media Mart or whatever it's places down there, and EB Games could do that for you for a nominal charge.
yeah, or Geek Squad.
But it's
or
really
something
like,
that.
is Sony really gonna support it or?
Oh, good night, Daddy J. We love you.
Whoa, bedtime for Daddy J.
Night, Jay, brother.
You stayed up
Yeah,
late.
thanks for-
He
yeah.
stayed up late for us. He is our awesome. He's
Thank
got yeah. He is our graphic god.
So AssassinLupa said that the deal with Seagate will be up in August. So maybe we'll start seeing third party.
Yeah.
Well, it is
that would be
already in
awesome.
August, so.
And that'll drive
Yeah.
the price down.
And here's another thing. I mean, we said it's hot pluggable, but it's also like I can take that card and come to your place and plug it in.
Yeah.
And you don't have to download it, or if we're on a submarine, you know.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny
Yeah,
too,
I think
because
it's just a misstep. Yeah,
yeah.
that
So
makes sense.
and not every it's Engadget says, forget popping the cover and slotting in just any Gen 4 SSD. For example, the Corsair Force MP600 has a heatsink which is too high for the fit, although you can purchase it without one and use your own thermal solution. So you take your console's life in your hands.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's
Or at least your SSD, because I mean, if it gets too hot, I mean, there, you know, I think they are thermally protect themselves from overheating.
Yeah.
But basically, then they become like, you know.
There you go. Rab says you need a spotless, clean, dust-free, vacuum-sealed clean room, a remote-powered rover assistant, and a valid premium full liability of coverage life insurance policy. Oh, and then
I know people have said, you know, it's easy to, you know, go in and open up the deal, pop it in, blah blah. But not everybody's tech savvy. You're always gonna have somebody like,
or know what to do, because they even if they could buy the right stick, they will hold it by the, you know, by the contacts and other stuff, and you know, get fried from the get go. And you pop it in there and it's not working. Like, what's not?
You got to be careful too.
PlayStation not working. Yeah,
they're fragile. I mean, you could, if you pull it up too much, you could bend it. You know.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just.
I wish they had a little better solution than just the.
Yeah, and you know, Xbox has always been pretty good about, you know, the hard drive support, or you know, memory support. You know, the 360 was pretty cool. You know, where they came up with that.
But in a PlayStation, what you could do at least PlayStation 4, you could just put in a new drive. You know, your own drive, harder capacity,
it's weird how, right away that was supported early on.
Yeah.
And they had a clear message on this, what you could do, but why the PS5 we're not getting that wasn't, you know, they've had plenty of time to do the R&D. Why wasn't that taken care of early?
Right.
But here's the thing: if you don't want to run games off it, but quickly want to swap, you can always get an external SSD.
You can,
if speed is you know, is important to you, and then you know you just swap it to the internal one. But
but have they said, you know, how like Xbox has talked about how their external SSD is going to be how the way it was engineered, that, you know, that it's not going to affect whether you're using the internal or your expansion one. Your speed is still going to be there supported. So do we know that on this one or PS5?
Well, no. I mean, they had the disclaimer, right? That Myke just read. It's like they cannot guarantee that your games will run the.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
And that's a lot of money. I mean, for someone to buy and plug in, and you don't have a guarantee from PlayStation to say, "Hey, we want you to know this works." You know, some people, I have to uninstall games and just to download another one, and then plus all these games, how much we keep getting DLC, and it keeps getting larger and larger.
Hey, put Call of Duty in there, and
But
Yeah.
once we start getting more into the next gen games now, only on PS5 or whatever, you can't. I guess you can have an external HDD or SSD, and you can move it back and forth, but it's a pain.
yeah.
I won't be doing this anytime soon.
No, I'm still.
Come on, Mike, we need you to experiment it for us.
Right.
Well, here's another thing. I mean, if you're, if PlayStation is your primary console, then you'll think about doing that sooner than if it's not your primary console.
Right.
I mean, the 3 games that that I'm toggling between on PlayStation is, I'm okay with just the internal storage.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
not my primary system.
Okay. That's all I got. No, don't do it, brother Mike. I'm not doing it. That's all I've got.
Yeah, that's it for me too, probably.
Because we didn't get
no breaking news.
Yeah, we didn't get into the Back for Blood open beta either.
Well,
we didn't get into the beta.
Code. I don't.
Yeah. So, well, it says it open beta. So, is it really an open beta, or is it just a pre-order beta?
I know if it says open beta, then it should be for everybody who wants to partake.
And if that's the case, then I'm going at it over the weekend, and I'll check it out. All right, hold on. Here we go. Oh, hold on. The open beta is okay. So the early access open beta for those who pre-ordered is today.
Some of
wait, why do they call it a open beta? It's either open or not. This is not. It's not.
Right. It's closed beta.
It's early access closed beta.
The early access demo is what it is. You know how I feel about these. The open beta is August 12th through August 16th.
Okay.
So by the time it opens at noon PST, so 3:00. So might be able to get a little of it in before the show next week to discuss with our good friend Psychonauts, who will be on next week.
Nice.
So, all right, so that's that. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, I think we did cover pretty much everything that.
Yeah, I think so.
I think of.
Yeah. So,
unless anybody in the chat has something, but.
Yeah. Mav and Lady downloaded it and says they cannot access the game, says it's not working for anyone who pre-ordered it. But I thought I saw Dreadpool. I thought I saw him.
The thing is, at one point they could, the codes. Oh, they downloaded it. Yeah, because it was like a specific time. Even though you had your code, it couldn't redeem it yet. So they downloaded it and cannot access the game. And that's disappointing.
And there's another, I think a 4-player co-op is that one, the Alien Fire Team or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's coming soon. I think not in Game Pass, I don't think. Or maybe it is. But I saw something about beta on that, but we'll see. These are 2 potential co-op games that we can stream.
Yeah, we still have to play some more. What was it? The Descent.
Descent? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to get a little bit more into that. I'm almost done with Omno and Death Door. I don't know how far I'm playing the right now. I'm battling the witch boss. She's pretty tough, so I got to take her out. And then next to that, I think I got the King Frog. So I've been having a lot of fun with yeah. So lately I've been playing Omno, Death Door. Of course, we played Ascent. We played a little bit of Flight Sim. I need to do more of that.
Yeah.
And I got distracted, so I haven't come back to Valhalla to finish. I need to get back on that. So,
Right.
But it's just so many games.
Did you get a season pass for Valhalla? I don't know.
Was it on sale?
No.
Must have missed it. Okay. No, not yet. X Defiant. That's what AssassinLupa.
Oh yeah.
That's the alien one.
Yeah, I'm still battling Control with that squid kind of thing.
Oh, the
It's kind
squid.
of a hard, annoying
Yeah.
boss fight.
That is a tough one. I will grant you that one.
It's the toughest one so far. It's sometimes kind of hard to see where that thing is, and but I was playing some Formula 1 2019, but also been playing Flight Sim.
I've been playing Flight Sim thanks to you again.
Yes, but it's important that you both are in the world and don't be on the menu when you left, because that left me hanging. So, but yeah. But yeah, I've been flying with Axel. 132.
Yeah, you guys have been
Some couple of flights.
Have y'all been able to do more than 2 people? Have you done 3? I know, Myke, you were trying to jump in.
3. No,
I don't think we have, but I think you can.
Yeah. What's the max?
I don't know.
You can have in the
I think maybe like 20. I think there's, who knows?
Yeah,
quite a few. So we should all team up on that one day.
No,
I won't fly with y'all, or Myke. I need to jump on there next time with y'all.
Yeah, I'm down to fly with everybody.
But man, sometimes I get tired by 9 o'clock, so I can't hang with y'all sometimes.
Yeah, I know. I can barely.
We need choppers in that game though. They can't come soon enough.
Love to have
they're slated for next year.
All right. Yeah, just double checking, and I'm not seeing much. So, I think we can call it here. We'll get done before midnight. See?
Barely. Better hurry up. That outro is pretty long.
It is. Oh man. Well, good show tonight, fellas.
Yeah.
And
it was a good show.
Yeah. Want to once again
awesome to
thank
have Joe on.
Yeah, once
Getting
again want to thank
his
him.
journey.
Yeah, that was awesome. And thank you everyone in chat, everybody who stuck around. Yeah. So don't forget all of our Gamers United Guild folks too. Check them out. All their links are below. So next up will be tomorrow night's Xbox Ultimate with Mav and the Magnificent Seven. And plenty to do over the weekend.
Is it like Mav and his 7 dwarfs?
That's awesome.
Hey, what's up, Scott P? All is well. You can always go back and replay.
Yes. No worries, Scott. All right, let's get on out of here. We will see you guys next week. We'll have special guest Psychonauts.
Nice.
And pick up a controller and do some gaming this weekend. And we'll see you guys next week. Good night and play on, gamers.
Get on,
Adios,
guys.
gamers. Have a good weekend.